Good evening and welcome back. And the apparently pants discussion going on there. I'm not sure, but anyway. Okay, computer. That's a good start. Anyway, good evening, everyone. You got Revenant and Christopher here, and Solar, Ted. Welcome, everyone. I just rebooted this computer and now it's frozen, so we're in a good spot here. We'll try another reboot. Ian Tyler Jane, welcome. Ooh, I got a message. I'm live streaming right now. Yeah, it's interesting. We're streaming on a shuttle tonight, and since we're playing Dungeon Siege, there we go. Whoop, I think we're good now. It's I basically have just this mouse that I stream with all the time, which is a really old-fashioned compact ball mouse, right? Because my KVM switch wheel likes it, and I tried plugging in, thinking like, well, you need the scroll wheel for this game, so I plugged in like a Logitech USB, or not a USB, but a PS2 mouse. And didn't really care for that. We'll play without. So we managed to do this before with this very game. I don't know. I got to figure out another KVM switch that likes scroll wheels, because for some reason this one just started wigging out every time I do it. So, oh, nice. You have the big box. Very cool. Oh, there, Chris, everything. Yeah. Please, someone throw together Ted's avatar in Discord and do the Simpson Mo meme. So we'll talk a little bit about this game. I only have the small box, which is the later one, the Legends of Arana, which is like the expansion pack, bundle into one, right? So this is a small box version. The big one, of course, will be much bigger, and it's from Chris Taylor, and he founded the Gas Powered Games. I think it's Chris Taylor, right? That's done a lot of other games too. Or is it his studio? I can't remember. I think he's attached to it. But yeah, it's a very good hack and slash game. Like, if you put it in the context of 2002 and everything, especially, there's some quality of life improvements you would have seen later on. But the game does a lot of stuff that's very unique to this game. The biggest thing being for me is that there's no loading at all. Once the game starts, you can go into dungeons and the overworld and everything. There's not a single load screen. You just keep playing for like ever. And it feels weird sometimes how long you can go without a load screen. I don't know how they did that, but this was an early case of streaming in the game data as you're playing or something like that. But it works really well, and you really don't get taken out of the moment anytime. You have a party. You can basically recruit people and have like a pack mule to carry your stuff for you. Skills level up based on usage. There's no skill tree in that sense. You just level up by using. So there's a lot of things they did. This game is a riot in multiplayer. It's very, very good for LAN parties. So yeah, if you have it, it still plays really well. And you can buy it for modern computers on GOG, I think, for $5. Like Dungeon Siege 1, 2, and 3 bundled or something like that. So cheers. It's a fun game, and yeah, some astute observer saw there in Discord that, hey, haven't we played this game before on stream? And yes, that is correct. During GPU June of last year, on the one that I had Pixel join me, we played on this very machine, was the shuttle with the Radeon 9700 Pro in it, and that's what we talked about. And we did play this very game for about 20-30 minutes, but this game is huge, and I wanted to give it a more fair shake, and I felt like a hack and slash, so here we are. Yes, it might, as long as it's a 2002-ish era ThinkPad. Although it's funny, because it says the processor minimum is 333. This run on Windows 98 tells you this is not a super graphic, or not a super demanding game. It was, if you turn everything down, you can run on lower settings. I'm not sure how well this would run on a 333 megahertz, but it gives me an idea for a video now to test that, because that would be pretty fun to see. This then is a Athlon XP 2600 Plus with the Radeon 9700 Pro. So it is extremely era appropriate for this game, but way more powerful than it needs. So we're running at 1024 by 768 for this, with pretty much all the settings cranked that you can. We'll go through a little bit what's in the box here, so... Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those, like, you can run it. I'd be curious to see, if you turn everything down, can you run it then? Because it says this is 333 megahertz. That's it. That seems like... Could you run this on a P2? It says Windows 98. 128 megabytes of RAM. I mean, you could. Again, if you turn everything down, so Of course, a lot of hack and slash games from that era were 2D sprites, but this is a full 3D engine, complete rotating, all that good stuff, right? So the cool thing with this particular expansion version with Legends of Ran is that it includes the whole full game too. The game CD is in here right now in the computer, of course, but then it contains the entire expansion and the original game on one, which is very, very cool. So, well, really? Well, there you go. Let's say 450 then. I mean, a 1 gigahertz would play this probably quite well by comparison, but yeah, 450 I can imagine. So yeah, it was playable. So that makes me wonder, like, if 333, is that even feasible? You know, I like they put it on there, maybe to get the game bootable, but I feel like today anymore, they have a better benchmark or kind of better average on when you say minimum spec, what's actually playable, if that makes sense. Now, engines are getting really optimized, things like that too, but this just comes with a very boring black and white. Then again, it does have a manual, which is not something you can say about games these days. It's a very, it's a Dungeon Siege 2 coming 2004. And Mythica, finally online role-playing fit for a god. It's a coming 2004 MMO that I'm sure has disappeared by now, so. But yeah, Dungeon Siege is really cool. I have not played 2 at all, really at all. We'll probably stream that at some point too, I think. Dungeon Siege 3, as I heard, was just kind of like meh. It just kind of took away a lot of stuff that was good about it and just kind of made it bland. And it's like, I haven't played it, so I can't make my own call on it, but I've heard it was pretty blah when it came out. I played a demo on Xbox 360, I want to say, and it ran alright, and it was okay, but it wasn't anything that stood out. Dungeon Siege, when it came out, you think about the landscape of 2002, you've had Diablo 2, which of course was, you know, the reigning champ, basically, of hack and slash games at the era. And then you had a game here now that was full 3D engine, and that's the big thing, right? Everything was switching to full 3D. So it was a really ground-setting game in that sense. And for me, I remember I was just so impressed by the lack of loading screens. That was a big deal to me anyway. I was in college for game programming at the time, and I did not stick with that because I didn't like math, and I realized, oh, hey, programming, that's a lot of math. Didn't work out so well. But we used to stay after school there in the computer lab, and I was basically played this and Serious Sam, and we just had a blast. And we were like, 4 or 5 of us playing all together. So that was a very good memory. There you go. A small form factor of 333. That'll be awesome. I have, I'm not sure if you saw on Twitter, but I have the plan that's starting to come together now for my desktop, the horizontal case, black case, with all the black peripherals and the black CRT and everything. And it's going to be a P2 450. So I don't have a good P2 right now that's usable. So I'm looking forward to having that as kind of like a be-all end-all P2 for me. Because, I mean, in most cases, a P3 can kind of cover it, right? So, no, okay. Yeah, so that was, they had the 3D studio, or the 3D side of the programming school or gaming school I went to, and that they use Max, if I'm right. But on our side, we're doing C# programming and stuff like that, or C++ or whatever, and that was all on a Windows machine. So, ooh, very nice. Awesome. I'm glad you're exploring. I almost wish I was back at the beginning of the Mister and experiencing it all again from scratch, because it's so fun just to, like, oh, you can do that. Oh, you can do that. Because you can play all of Genesis, right, with nothing. Like, you don't need a memory module for that one. So that's probably the best one to start playing right away. The entire Genesis core does not need any memory. But yeah, cool. You get that memory module because you pretty much need everything. So we did matrices. Yeah, there was a lot of that. Even Doppler. So here's where it comes up. Like, I'm not a math person, so I realized pretty quickly as I went to that, and so, yeah, I'm not a math person. It just does not click with me, and it's not that I just have like an aversion to it. It just I struggled a lot, so that made it really hard for me, and I got a ways into it, but then I realized that, like, I just wasn't enjoying it, the game programming aspect of it. I like the creative aspects. I feel like I'm fairly creative in that sense, but just the pure, like, sitting down and coding was not for me. And that's where all the math came in, of course, too. Not just the object-oriented programming, I can get my head around that. But realizing, like, is this what I want as a career? Do I want to keep going to college or now? College is free in Sweden, so I basically dropped out, and then I went into system administration instead. I went to a networking architecture college instead and did that, and that's what my career is now, is working in system administration. So that's what I like. And I don't have anything against math. It's just that it did not click for me, and I realized pretty quickly I would struggle with this if I made this into a career. So apparently I like playing games more than I like making them. So, but it was really cool. It was a cool experience. It was literally a game developing school. They college grade level of developing games. So then we are playing on the Athlon XP then 2600. This is the shuttle small form factor machine with the Athlon processor in there. So it's very well suited for this game. We have played a lot of other games on this machine. Some of the ones that come to mind would be Max Payne on here. We did play Red Faction on Halo. We streamed Mafia on this one, Daikatana on this. This machine has seen a lot of action. It's a really nice machine. It's the one that has the media center on it. I did 2 videos on it, so that's some cartoon level stuff there. Freaking Looney Tunes, just knock your noggin and all of a sudden you get smarter. So yeah, the user, I'm more on the back end side now. I work with cloud stuff, and yes, there's some user centric, and when it comes to system administration, like many of us in the field, we started on help desk, and that's kind of working my way up, but I'm pretty much solely in the system administration side now, which I do enjoy. I like the architecture and designing and coming up with ideas and solving problems, but there's some user interaction too. But I don't know. I realized that when I got into system administration, that's what I like, and that was my calling. Yes, that means you're automatic tech support for everyone you know. So, there's that part. But yeah. Oh, there you go, Christopher. You're a sysadmin as well. So it's a I don't know, it's a fun field, and I like that it doesn't really stand still. You always learn something new. So it's a fun thing, and I enjoy it. There's challenges, and there's been many late night calls, and I was working in a place where I was basically on call all the time. Not all the time, but it was many times where you got, 4, 5, 6 calls a night. And that was wrecked my sleep and wrecked my stress. I had to leave that job because it was wrecking me. Finding like a good balance is super important. And where I'm at now has a great balance of work life, and they respect you as a person and things like that. And that goes a long way. So, Suka, welcome. Suka's here early now because I think the Suka is one of your favorite games. So you get to fill in the blanks here now as we play this and see if anyone remembers it. There we go. Yes, automation is key. Automate everything. And there's 2 types of admins. The ones that cherish the automation. Some that are like, whoa, you're kind of like taking my job away. It's like, no, we're trying to improve, like, automate the boring stuff so we can work on the exciting stuff and design the new stuff. Like, if you have the same stuff you have to do 100 times over, that's not fun for me in IT. That's just, busy work, right? So, yes, there are guns in this game, I believe. Flamethrowers and stuff. For some reason. It's got a little bit of everything. It's a pretty broad game. Hey, the logic checks out. If you're kind of like a physical guy, a hardware guy, that I could see trying to put some WD-40 in there. Yeah, there are times working with IT and stuff like that where the user is the challenging component, or the pepcac. Problem exists between user and keyboard or whatever. So, and so yeah, there's tendency. That's it. It just drops you right in. There's a little intro cinematic and everything too. We have tri-linear filtering on, full object detail, complex party, and 1024 by 32-bit. Yeah, that one. Sound is on because we like sound. I don't remember what sound card we have. We can try and turn EX on. We'll see if that causes any crackling or stuttering. I kind of say that was a problem with that when we played it last time. We'll see. Yeah, I think we'll leave EX off, because I seem to recall there was a problem with the audio when we played it last time. We'll see. I tried it this way and it worked great, so let me know if it has any problems. But a reminder again, for those that haven't played this, like we just went through, this is a hack and slash Diablo style game. Think Diablo, and you're pretty close. It has some unique aspects to it. And yes, for those that didn't hear in the beginning, we did play this game last year with Pixel Pipe joining us for the GPU June stream. But we didn't play very far in this game. We hopped to another game pretty quickly. And I really like this game. And actually, here's the confession. I have not finished this, which comes to a shocker. If there's a game that I'm playing here, assume I haven't finished it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. A lot of games that from my childhood I may have finished from that era, because you got a game and that's what you have. But then as more games came out and I got more and more games faster and faster, especially during the acquisition era where I may not have potentially purchased all the games anyway. Then I was getting so many games, I hopped, and I played MMOs a lot during this time too. So this is when I really started sliding into not finishing games, which goes on to this day. So, yes. What Revenant's discussing there is that you should look up the video called "The Server's Down." For anyone that works in IT, it is the gold standard of hilarity, and it is just watch it. I think it's called "The Server's Down," right? That video is just, I die laughing on that one when I saw it the first time. They used that very trick in there, except that it's the, he has the, the icons are laid out in a very inappropriate fashion on the desktop. So he takes a screenshot of that, dropped it in there. Yeah, go, I think it is. Go find the video is down, or sorry, the server's down. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in Discord. I gotta find it real quick. The website is down. Sales guy versus web dude. Yeah, the website is down. It's an old video. It's an older code, but it checks out. Yes, I had thought about doing Darkness of Camelot is still live. It still runs. It's actually active today as a free-to-play game. I actually really considered streaming DAOC at some point. I may do it just for the sake of nostalgia. Yes, I will do a DOC stream at some point. I definitely will, because I played that a boatload. Yeah, I mean, there's no one playing the game. I guess there's that part, right? If you have played it. I ran around the entry area a little bit. And there were some people running around, but it's, you know, yeah. I played Midgard, which was the, you know, the whole Norse calling, of course, back then. But I spent so much time in Darkest Camelot. Also rolling alt and starting over. But yeah, we'll stream it at some point just because it's fun, and I have the big box for it, and I have many memories, and it would be fun for me to go down memory lane too. So then the question is, Tyler, Jane, what is your affiliation? You got the Norse, the Albion guys, or the hippies? There's a right and wrong answer on this one now, but... to be fair, I played the Midgard pretty much all the time because it was fun for me for the... yeah, there you go, perfect. All right, good answer. I played that because it was fun to see all the names and everything, and I was still living in Sweden at the time, so I got to, you know, impress my friends in America when I could tell them what the things were and what they meant, because they were pretty, you know, directly translated, or just the names were pulled out of Swedish and Scandinavian lore in general, so that was fun for me. Played a shaman for a long time as a support class. Then when they basically made everyone that was a support class just be kind of a buff bot, that's when the game started coming off the rails, right? So anyway, we'll talk about that whenever we stream Darkest Camelot. Today we're streaming what are we playing again? Oh yeah, Dungeon Siege. And I love this menu. I don't know what it is, but it's just so typical of the era. Ooh, can we randomize here? Look at that glorious hair. We got like a man bun here. I'm going to play full combat mage in this one. I thought about a little bit of it, and you can basically multi-class if you want to. The problem is that in this game, the way it works, and we'll get into the actual game, and someone who knows more about this can correct me, but the way it works here is that every kill in the game gives you a certain amount of XP. And depending on the skill you use, when you kill them, that XP goes there. So if you dual class, meaning you're using melee and casting at the same time, you kind of get XP funneled slowly but surely in there. So it's not like you can just say, I'm going to level up and put 1 point in melee. I'm going to level up and put 1 point in casting. What this does in this game is that it really splits your focus, which is more than feasible, especially in multiplayer and stuff like that. But as you do it in single player here, you're going to have a hard time. I think there's more than enough viable builds, but just for casual play, sticking to one skill is the better option. Basically, melee, archery, or combat magic is, I think, the best ones to do. There's nature magic as well, which is more support. And that one is not so good to solo from what I read. I did look up a little bit, because I mostly remember playing like melee or casting. So we're going to do a pure combat mage here, just fireballs and that kind of stuff. Stick to basically the simple one. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That makes sense. Exactly what you're saying, Sucre. They took away everything that sounded boring in the game, and they were left with the pure experience. And it is a fun game to play to this day. It is a little grindy in the sense that it's just more of the same. This game lacks a little bit, Yes, he's a mage hipster. That is perfect. You're correct. Like the soy latte, please. So the thing that I like have games have done a little more as of late, at least. I remember playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I really enjoyed that game, even though it's very grindy in points. Your hero and character can interact with the world somewhat. It's not just combat. Don't get me wrong, combat is the core mechanic for most of these. They have crafting and they have extra stuff to do, and there's maps, things like that. But there were certain points in the game, as a mage, for example. I played a mage in that game. There are places where you use your magic to reconstruct a bridge or blast open a door. That kind of flavor makes it feel like you're interacting a little bit more instead of just fireball, 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 fireball. And that was, during this era, this was what you had. There wasn't much thinking of interactivity that the world existed except to funnel you monsters to kill. That was it. I really enjoy when they put interactivity in the game where your character feels like it's more alive. You know, Mass Effect did that quite a bit with extra stuff to do besides just the combat. Very heavy on the story and talking, of course, because it's BioWare. That's what they do. And I really enjoy that, and I feel that's lacking here. This is very much a combat slide. You just kind of keep going on the slide and finding things until you beat the game, you know. But I haven't beaten this either, so maybe we'll see at the end game is more interesting. Ah, yes, Doom. Yeah, I need to beat that again here soon. I think I have beaten that when I was younger, if I remember right. Maybe I'm lying, who knows. I ended up beating Doom 2, because that one I own. I did beat that one, so. Yeah. Yeah, the RTX version is really good, isn't it? I mean, I know we streamed that. It just takes the game to the next level, and it makes it really enjoyable. I love all the... That's not bad either, especially the Insurrection one. The Resurrection mod, or version of R32X, but not the original one. The original one, I think, was very capable too, so... Which we tested. So... I think that I'm really enjoying seeing so many things. And there's new games being developed explicitly in GZ Doom. Like, you know, there's tons of games coming out for it. And I think that's awesome. We have a retro revival now where you take quality of life improvements and new ideas. Because really, truthfully, I mean, a lot of developers, when they made games back in the day, A, didn't have the toolkits, or B, they just weren't versed well enough in the engine. Look at Ion Fury, for example, right? That's a game that was built using the build engine, but it's using way more open stuff because it's using a E32 or Duke 32, whatever, executable. Still build engine at the core, but way expanded, so. For the audio setup for the Mister, so I have a couple of different things. One is I use the analog I/O board out. What that does give you is basically analog video out and also analog audio out. So that kind of tells you right there, right? The HDMI is used exclusive for capture for me. So I basically capture from the HDMI, and then I play on the analog out. Now, you could use this as an HDMI splitter if you wanted to, right? Just split it and split it to your panel and split to a capture card, and you're good. That's it. That's what you need to do for capturing, right? If you want to split out the audio, you either need an audio extractor via HDMI or at the analog I/O board. That lets you have an analog audio out. So that's what I do. So when I'm playing it, I'm listening and using the analog board. What you're watching is the digital capture from the HDMI. So yes, I had to try the HD version. I really hope they make a RTX version for Heretic. That would be just... Heretic and Hexen in those games will be just perfect with RTX. So, all right, we'll stick with the hipster. Maybe blue pants. Blue pants. We keep the... Oh, let's see. That's a little more hipster. There we go with that. Rick the Mage. We're gonna play an easy because we're not looking for a challenge tonight. We're just gonna blast and stuff. Oh, for the old computers. Oh, for the retro computers. Oh, okay. So, what you're watching now and listening to. Let's see if I can remember. So, there's two pieces. One is I have a KVM switch that has keyboard, mouse, and VGA, of course. Stay a while and listen. For audio, I literally just go to a, it's Radio Shack 4 S-Video/RCA switcher. And I have 3.5 audio from all the computers. And they all go into that switcher, which is a 4-port switcher, a manual click-click-click switcher. The out on that goes to a splitter. That splitter goes to the speakers, and the other one goes to my line into my computer. So that's it. So I'm just splitting it, basically. Just a Y cable. Just plug in one end, and one goes to my speakers, and one goes to the line into my computer.
In the rugged mountains and the rich valleys of their new home, they founded the kingdom.
There's a story here.
The kingdom has embraced peace.
It's a pretty game for its day, too, I think, but... Kingdom of Ebb.
There was a price.
And like anything else, I plan to do a video on that. I wanted to do a video on my stream setup and capture setup, what I do. Might be interesting to some, but... Cultivating that man bun.
And none could foretell that one
No offense to man buns.
would stand between a vengeance from the past and the survival of the kingdom.
I'm not sure the dog makes it, but... Oh no! I'm running along a defined path by zigzagging. Yeah, they made a modern engine, right, that can run the heretic.
You have long been my friend.
The, whatever you want to call it, so.
You can do nothing more for old North. Go to Stonebridge.
I just said dog man buns there first. Like, how, hang on, you put the ears back? Oh, okay, no, a man bun.
Bravery will be needed.
I never had long hair enough to do that, so. Yeah, because, I mean, someone could fill me in here now, but Heretic runs on the Doom engine, right? It's based on it, but it doesn't use WAD files, does it? Or is it basically, can you run Heretic in GZ Doom? Okay, tips. Click things to make them die. Smack the barrels. I think we're going the wrong way. I think this is a dead end, but we'll go in here first. Dull pitchfork. Oh, okay. I don't think we need any more of that stuff. I'm not sure I ever ran back towards this way. We're supposed to go the other way, so... Yeah, I don't want to leave that hoe there. Very epic. So now I get to first spell, and we're going to do that. So this side works. You select the different things. And we're basically just going to be casting spells instead. We're going to go full mage on this one. The one thing that is a little weird is that the timer, like, you cast a spell like that, you really got to wait for it to finish. You can't just spam click. Of course, we're very weak in the beginning. Yeah, it's very small fonts. I'm not sure if you can set that or anything. I kind of doubt it. Yeah, game. Maximum text displayed. Can go down on it a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Ooh, display on-screen frame rate right in the game. Look at that. I think we're generally hovering around 60 FPS. I mean, this is more than playable in 9700 Pro. We could set it down to lower settings and everything, too, if we wanted to, but... Cherry leg. Yeah, they definitely did not take an inspiration from Diablo here. I mean, it's like, if you make an action RPG like this, I don't think you have a lot of choice. You pretty much have to go with this format, so... Let me know if it's too loud with the audio here, with the game or anything. I'll turn down a little bit on my side so I can hear better. There's a few things that you see. We actually don't have a party yet. In the bottom right corner, you'll see there is actually a settings on how to have your party play with you or work with you. So, yeah, I really like this 9700 Pro, and I have not... I know you have to shim it or delit it and shim it and all that stuff, and I haven't done it yet, so sooner or later it'll probably break. I probably should do that. Yeah, they weren't really made for text and stuff like that yet, right? So, I think we're going the wrong way. Even tab opens the map. All the buttons you recognize from Diablo are here. Dark game. I think we can actually put a fortune, so we can learn these spells. Yeah, we have healing hands, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to blast stuff. You can also pause at any time, which is a neat trick too. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, I mean, again, this came out after Diablo 2, so put that in perspective, right? As there was a lot of, like, creature comforts already. And it does an autosave. It's got a Rick feature. We'll get more spells and cool stuff later. Boop. Change the point of view, move the mouse pointer to the edge of the screen. Plus and minus keys. Whoa! Zoom out quite a bit, and that actually affects the frame rate pretty badly. Keep it like in the middle here. I mean, I don't think we were at this era, especially with this setting, we were like trying to lock 60 FPS or anything like that, you know. It's easy to think that now, especially as with the luxury of playing older games with newer hardware, right? If you go with a mid-2000s XP machine for this, this would just run this game like nothing. But this is very era appropriate, although the 9000 series cards from Radeon or AMD, of course, just were a big leap up too, so. Alright, we play this multiplayer. It is really, really fun. Co-op. Ooh, tattered leather. Suka, just so everyone knows, that is your cat, right? And we're not talking about... I know you said Tiffany, I know it's your cat, but it's like... Phrasing! Right, where's that bug? There we go. We'll get more exciting spells later. You basically find them and learn them, so... yeah, that is true. We could turn off shadow detail. I think we have full complexity on right now for the maximum... Especially, it may run slower as we get more party members, because we have full complex shadows on right now, which definitely probably hurts us, but... Good evening, Boka. Let's see. Oop, that was mana potion. That was not what I intended to do. I was going to press up on the tip of the map. Little side areas you can do here, so... There we go. Well, it's not my fault you named your cat a person name. Although I love person names on animals, so... Because, like, every kill you do gives you XP, so really it is just about the melee or about the combat. That's pretty much it. What does our journal say? Seek Gjorn in Stonebridge. But it's got epic music. It's just a fun hack and slash. Don't think too much about it. Just, you know, have a good time. Just great in land. Is there nothing in there? What a jip. My mana does recover, and I think that the more intelligence we get, the mana will recover faster and faster. In the meantime, I do have mana and health potions, so... That's right. There we go. I do think we have a little bit of tearing. Let me know if that becomes unbearable, and we may have to go in and set VSync in the... I'm not sure if the game has the option for it. We may have to set that in the Catalyst control panel. Yes, click these things. You can do Q switches between what you're doing, so we could switch to a ranged weapon here, right? Or the zap spell, but we're going to stick with combat magic. I want to do a pure combat mage here now. I'm trying to just level that up max, so we're just going to be casting spells on everything. We'll see what happens around out of mana. We're playing on easy, so in the beginning here, we're not really taking much of a hit at all. But notice the frame rate has already dropped here by 10 FPS as we get into this open area, so... I mean, I probably would have played this game without even blinking like this, especially if you didn't see the frame rate. We just see it now. If it becomes a problem, we'll turn down some settings, but... This is what I would consider the game to be cranked for the era, without running at 1280, but I don't think I played any game at 1280, really, unless I was playing older games. Because, I mean, even for this era, there weren't that many games that were current that would have been able to run like that, so... That's just a toad. Even pressing Alt highlights, excuse me, everything you see. Trying to see here, or hit it. So it's funny, especially after playing newer hack and slash games like Diablo 3, which run much, much faster and is more dynamic. Like, games like this are pretty old or plodding. I mean, Diablo always been able to nail 2 and 3, I guess, above all, the fast pace, right? Hurr. Run away! Brave, brave Sir Robin. But yeah, you don't have to think too much in this game. I mean, it's a hack and slash game with all that comes with it. But well, there we went inside a hut here, which of course is nothing special per se. Ooh, magic armor. That's just a spell for the nature level 3, so I can't even use that yet. But nature spells are support spells. Mostly they do have some combat too, but it's mostly a support and healing. And it's basically you want a nature mage in your party later on. Saving your progress. Click on the game menu button, select save game. Fine, we'll save. I did autosave, but at least they even reminded me. But then as we get into later on, as I understand it, Nature 1 is not very fun to solo, so just you don't have enough offensive capability, so I'm sure we'll have to kite and do that kind of stuff later on here as a combat mage, but that's alright. Well, that sounded good. Like, all these games that are designed just purely for combat like this, I'm like, boy, there are a lot of... Yeah, okay. There are a lot of monsters around that only you can kill here. Kind of a Dharmacy. First time we played that, we bought it with... I think we heard it from word of mouth. Got it for PlayStation 2, and like, this is so weird. Is there a Cal level in this game as well? I mean, there is no Cal level in Diablo, so that would be established, but... I increase intelligence. I am smarter now. I feel like I could take over the world. Ooh, leather gloves. Huzzah. There, we'll take a mana potion. I don't remember. It would be Katamari, but it's like, it's one of those, like, we had friends said, like, you gotta play this Katamari Damacy game. It's just completely weird. And then, we played it and it's like, this is completely weird, but, oh, it's so lovable. I bought the same game many times over now on different variety of platforms, and ooh, I think we have a named monster here. Got more health. Frack Ballista. You can frack right to... Come on. Oh, hurrah! He dropped the forest axe. I do not need. But still, even if you don't play this on a retro machine, again, you can get it on GOG for just a few bucks, so... Na 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 na. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a copyright flag for doing that now, but well worth it. We have my pitchfork. One thing I did always enjoy in this game is the staff combat is actually pretty cool, because you really twirl around the staff. It's not just, they spin around a bunch of stuff, and it's really, really cool. We'll use the staff a little bit whenever I get one, you can see, but it may feel plodding now, but it just kind of keeps going like this, and especially get into dungeons and stuff, so... Yeah, some dungeons to siege, as it were. I don't know where the hell they got the dungeon siege from anyway, but... What is a dungeon siege? The more monsters you kill, the more XP you get, and you progress more, so... But it makes sense, Suka, the idea that they basically said, like, let's cut out the boring start, like, loading levels and skill trees, and... I mean, at this point, I have skill tree fatigue. I always enjoyed skill trees, playing games back then, like, all the action RPGs or action adventure games have skill trees, and it was real cool. I can hide a little bit here now. But now it's just like, it's every single game's got a skill tree. And it gets a little tiring when you're pretty much going to play one way anyway. It might some different flavors, like you can, a little bit of focus. But at this point, I'm almost preferring a game to have almost lock progression or unlocking skills as you go along, rather than a skill tree. Because it gets tiring now because, I don't know, some games were well made with it, but even playing like something modern like God of War now, I'm like, hang on, which one do I want? This one or this one? Or just like, it's become such a ingrained requirement that a 3D action game now has a skill tree, and it's getting a little droll. And, you know, Assassin's Creed, like many other bullet things, it's just ridiculous with the skill trees too. Like it's a requirement to check off, you know. Yeah, that's true. That's for Chris Taylor. Yeah, that's, now I forgot. But yeah, he of course made instrumental in making Total Annihilation. There's Zoe as well. Hi, Zoe. So that's where it came from. So, and here's a really cool little trick too with this here. Where's that? Oh, I just let that guy. Look here now. We just, hi Zoe. Oh, he auto attacks back because that's what the AI is set to do. We can just mosey right on down there, and it just does this, like seamless, you know, full 3D. I are 90 FPS down here. I always thought that was so cool. Oh, yep, you want to back up everything before it blows up, so... Yeah. So clearly he likes kind of breaking the norm, because the thing with Total Annihilation, of course, was that you had so many units, and they were all fully 3D rendered for RTS. That was, you know, groundbreaking in 1987. The microphone cut out there. But then you look at... Supreme Commander, which took it even a step further. That was a game that does not run great on period accurate hardware. It's very demanding. Small mana potion, yes please. No loading screen for any of this, right? We just went right down. Now, Diablo 2 did this in some respect, but in many places you had to do the, you know, click the thing to go down and load a level. Later. Smash that. Again, we're playing easy, so keep that in mind as far as the game difficulty. There's a brick here. What can you do with the brick? Oh. Come back. Yeah, I don't know what happened to gas-powered games, because, I mean, they've made some good games there for a while. I'm not sure if they just got, you know, absorbed and chopped up or what. Because you look at Nox, then that we played a while back, which uses a 2D style engine and whatever as well, with some 3D stuff, but this is 100% 3D. Oop, mana potion, we'll take that. And as you level up, as I understand it, you slow down the leveling too. So you can multi-class and stuff like that, but eventually all your skills level so slow that it becomes impossible. There's actually a possibility of having all 4 skills max, which is like Grand Master something. And someone calculated, if you do that without cheats, it will take like 4,000 years. I mean, not even kidding, because the skills level so slow the way they're scaled that you could literally... I mean, in theory you could hit, but there's no way to do that without cheating, right? But they put a title in there for it, so... Okay. I'll say, because I couldn't remember where they went. They just kind of disappeared. What's this then? Aha! Ooh, Leech Life. I'll take that one. I think that's a combat spell. That would be useful. Yep, that's... Leech Life. Requires combat magic level 2, I don't have it yet. Tears 3 health from the enemy and gives it to the caster. Ooh. That'll be useful. And the fire shot just does more damage, so we can use that to steal health if we need to. But we need to level up combat magic. You can see there's a little bar in the middle there that shows your skill up in the top left corner. I know that's kind of hidden there. Oh goodness, I just realized my frame is really hiding that up there, isn't it? Let's see if we can do this. Move that a little bit there. You see a little bit more of my beautiful face there. But there's so many of these places. Oh, there's a staff. We'll do that. We're not going to use the staff, but it does look very cool when he swings it. Good for, yep, at 2002. This game is 20 years old as of this year. We're all old. It's pretty great. But yeah, the live service game, of course, is that, you know, I think we all have opinions about that, about how everyone wants a live service game now. And you look at things like Anthem, right? BioWare was shoehorned and forced into making a live service game, and it just crashed and burned. Took, you know, probably let developers leave, it burn out, huge crunch, and stuff like that. And just live service games when done. I mean, seems like Destiny is doing well. It's a fun game, and people are enjoying it, and they're not in your face about it, and it works. But then you get everyone trying to cash in on that, right? I know the next Assassin's Creed they talked about it's going to be like a continual game that keeps getting updates. But there we go. Now we're right in the world again here. That's going to keep getting updates and get like packs and stuff like that instead of having a new release, because it's cheaper to do that way. So yeah, I was sure that would make them crash and burn. So hello.
My thanks for clearing out the Krog. If they're coming after
Oh, he would ask me to go in the basement.
I don't doubt you'll battle many more on your journey to Stonebridge. You'd best be on your way.
I'll take your stuff though. Anything else? No. I just want to show real quick the staff combat, because it does look pretty cool. It's like, yeah. I mean, it doesn't do anything. I'm really swinging that around a lot, but the stuff's really doing anything, so. It looks cool. Yeah, you don't really want to mix your stuff too much here, so. Oh, that's kind of earlier too. I am not entirely sure how you siege a dungeon. Yeah. Yeah, they were selling for penny. I bought it on PS4 dirt cheap too. I played it for a little bit because I did the... It had so much BioWare flavor to it, right? And it was cool. I don't know. Yeah. It's unfortunate, especially Red. I think Jason Schreier from Kotaku, he moved on from Kotaku, made a big expose on the development cycle for Anthem and how horrible it was, and just management and corporation all over it, right? Just them forcing it to do it. And yeah, I am amazed BioWare is coming out of this in one piece. Yeah, I bought it for like 15 maybe, and I played it for a little bit on PS4, and since you couldn't really solo very well in that game, I know it really wants you to group up, which is the idea. But I mean, many of those MMO or live service games, you can still do solo, and I enjoy the BioWare aspect of it with the story and stuff. But then it was just like, I'm getting a little tired of BioWare storytelling, honestly. As horrible as that sound, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. I love Dragon Age. I'm excited for Dragon Age, Frostwolf and everything, or Direwolf. But how many previous civilization MacGuffins do we have to have? It is such a trope now in sci-fi that, oh, the old civilization, they left something behind and we don't understand it yet. We have to find all the relics. Like, okay, we get that. We've done that in every sci-fi setting at this point. It can be fine if it's one aspect, but it's like a core thing of sci-fi storytelling at this point now. I'm not a writer, so I can't just say do this, but come on, we gotta be able to figure something else out, right? Like that. Yeah, the Frostbite engine. I think that was a big piece of it too, right? Because Frostbite was made for FPSs, and I know Dragon Age, when I made Inquisition, was based on Frostbite too. It's a gorgeous engine when, you know, made done right. But as I understand it, it was very difficult for Inquisition to shoehorn an interactive RPG on top of the Frostbite engine, which was built originally as a FPS engine. So Yeah, I think that's the point. It's like Mass Effect did it so well. It worked so well there because there was something deeper behind it. Like the mystery, like, you know, you exist because we allow it. You will be destroyed because you demand it, or whatever. Like, just, oh, the Reapers and all that stuff. Mass Effect did it so well. And then it feels like that trope should be like, okay, let's go to the next thing now. Something else sci-fi, right? Look at Star Wars. There's not a single thing with like the whatever came before, because it's more about the, I mean, besides the old, you know, Jedi stuff, but there's not much in the way of, they don't focus so much on that except the history of it, like unearthing ruins and stuff like that. But Mass Effect is amazing. The storytelling is great. I love that. I think the universe they built there was so compelling to me. I would love to play a Mass Effect game where you just play like Serenity. Like you have a crew and a ship and you're just trying to survive in that universe. Not the big stuff, but just like, hey, we're just doing mercenary stuff and skirmishes and that kind of stuff. Like, that would be really cool. Because I love the universe, so... We'll see what to do with Mass Effect 4. Looks like the old team is back at it with the same universe. A setting after the game, an actual continuation. Which is probably a smart move after Andromeda. Hey, don't zap me, dude. Bah. Oop, I think I missed a thing over here. Look at that. It looks suspicious there. Yep, there's a little... No, okay, nothing. Never mind. RTX Bioshock would be really good if they remastered. Oh, they had to remaster it one time, right? It just adds such a mood to adding RTX in there. But yeah, so I'm not a writer. I can't just say do this and do what or whatever, and it's hard, I'm sure, to come up with new stuff. But then as I played Anthem, it's like... I watched it and I played the back stuff, and like, it is the core aspect. The core aspect of the game is what this previous civilization left behind, and they don't understand it. And like, BioWare, haven't you done this exact same thing before? Now we're just in an Iron Man suit instead? I don't know. It felt a little cheesy in the sense that they really just like, we have to make a live service game, so we're going to do what we know. And then they had a hard time with that and failed, so... Yes, I'm sure we'll see more and more of it. Especially the old school games, like... Any of those, like you look at GC, or PT Doom or whatever, with RTX on it. Like any of those games that have such a simple geometry, they work wonders with RTX, so I'm really hoping to see that a lot more. Yes, combat. This is a main monster, of course, so... Alright. Crude leather. That better than what I had? Oh, yeah. Throw that away. Look at that. Oh, he's super hipster now. See, defense 2, and we already have. I don't need my dual pitchfork anymore. But I can learn Leech Life now. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have 2 spells active here now. I can Leech Life. Any spiders in here or anything? Already killed everything here. I can't use that. Got showing off there to break the... Ooh, a cap. I have a hat now. Look at that hat. Look at my hat. My hat is amazing. Brutal. Yeah, so what I did there with Leech Life, that's useful, so... Yeah, there's that part. It's like, anytime you have a live service game like that, it's like... there's so much focus on getting the live service correct, right? To make sure it makes money first, and then a game after. So I really, really hope... I really want this now, that the next Dragon Age and the next Mass Effect now is a true return to form. I mean, I can hope that BioWare literally looks at this and says, you know what? Our expertise in single-player RPGs they can be very successful. Look at Witcher 3. It's so like gangbusters. Amazing game. Full single player focus. Keep making games like that. There's a market for it with narratively driven single player games. And I really hope they just stick to that and make it a fantastic experience and just the core of what they do, and that they return to form, and that is everything that works. But we'll see. You know, the next Dragon Age game is out first. We will see. I did like Inquisition. It was very grindy. It was also had that aspect of like, and that's what Andromeda was too. It had very much like, it's an open world game now. We're going to do very, very open world gamey things. Versus Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 were much more funneled open. It was bite-sized stories, self-contained. And I love the narrative structure there. There was an overarch structure, but then it kind of like narrowed it down. So, Evening Stewart, welcome. And I very much enjoyed that because the fun is so long. It's like there are different choices to make and different like variations, stuff like that. Everyone had their own experience playing Mass Effect. But overall, it's not open, right, in that sense. And I think that anytime you make a game open for the sake of being open, that's when it suffers. Witcher 3, I think, was a great open world game because it felt like the game was populated and it felt like natural versus like some part of Inquisition, and especially Andromeda was like, here's another like collectible. It had Ubisoft written all over it, right? So I'm kind of open world outed. So yeah, I'll be curious to see. Like if we get, can they do basically AI-based or procedural generation of content that fills in the gaps? Because, I mean, in Witcher 3 used a lot of, like, you know, I think, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they let basically everyone on the whole team, be it the developers, the artists, whatever, they all could help build the stories and the quests, and this mini-quest and the side quest, and that helped flesh out the world more than just, like, an Andromeda. Hey, we need to destroy 5 of those on that map. Okay. I mean, there's nothing behind it. It doesn't feel like there's anything worth it except a checklist. I felt they really cheapened out on that, especially given the bad guys. The Cat, which was just another bipedal bad guy, generic bad guy. It was so unintuitive, or unimaginative, so. There we go. Uh-oh. Broken stuff. Oh, you have disabled the bias. Yeah, they're not interested in, you know, they're looking for the, aren't you doing free for exposure? Me complaining about BioWare? No. I hate saying that. I love BioWare. I really wish they returned to form. Unless they're trying wolves, I guess, so. Give me your health. Split. Yeah, fortunately I haven't had to deal with that much, but especially since you're working in... Look at this. Look at how cool this looks. Oh no, the bridge where I need to go is out. How unfortunate. Still bridge.
Damn fool Krug.
Damn fool Krug. I knew there'd been done no Brighton to damn hurt to hurt.
They torched this here bridge, and then set to driving a wagon caravan across while it was still a burning. Now the only way to Stonebridge is that a ways, and that means going through the old crypts to the road.
Oh no, I have to go through the crypt. How unfortunate.
Catch me going that way.
XP. You're all locked in here with me. Yeah. I'm really sad about that too. So, full confession, I have not finished KOTOR. I know I really should, because I mean I love BioWare, right? So it's the core BioWare game where they found their footing. The fact I haven't finished KOTOR is, you know, sacrilege. I really should. We probably should stream it at some point too, I'm guessing. But it's just... Now there was a remake, and it looked very promising, but then they fired 2 of the lead designers, I think, right? And that put the game on indefinite hold. So... It's unfortunate. You could have a really cool, you know, modern Star Wars game that's not tied to the, current canon, which is just so convoluted. I know, I haven't finished it. Feel really, really bad. Yeah. Yeah. I'm, of course, much more a fan on anything that's single player focused. That's my bread and butter, right? So I really enjoy that, and some games can work well where you kind of have like a... I'm trying to think of a game now, the single player that lets you have kind of like a dynamic co-op if you want it. I mean, any of your Diablo games, stuff like that have that multiplayer aspect. It's not a core mechanic. Well, I mean, Diablo 3 is core mechanic multiplayer now, but... if done right, it can be done well. But if you want me to go buy a game today, single player narrative driven by far. I mean, that's going to be my favorite one at this point, or lightweight indie cool game that's a throwback. You know, those are my favorites, so. And boomer shooters and that stuff's fun, and, you know, 2D platformers and Metroidvanias and that stuff. The list goes on, but single player by far, so. You need any random game variable? Crypts? Well, that doesn't look like a good place to go. Let's see. Crypts. Oh, we should probably check this out. Ooh. This is like a recharged place. Alpha Wolf. Alpha my fireball. More creative than mine. That's probably important. There's more wolves coming out. Guitar wolf, yeah, gray wolf, come on. There's dark here. I know we're going into the crypts, so I'm just checking stuff out. So did that recover my health, or was that just cool? Yeah, health is recovering real fast. I think this is where we stopped last time, actually. So now we're going into new territory. So that's the thing. This game is really fun, and it goes pretty far. So I wanted to... Oh. Oh, we should probably save, huh? I know what auto saves, but there's no harm in saving as well. I think this game gets a little variety now as you start getting into different environments, because we've been in the forest now the entire time, right? And it's been looking very samey. But then as soon as you get into kind of different environments, there's a lot of different biomes or different things in this game, so... That little trumpet there's repetitive. But it feels like the evolution of the Darkstone or whatever that we, what's it playing? Ooh, walking stick. My inventory's full, no? Yes, the inventory actually uses an actual 1 to 2. Oh yeah, this walking stick is terrible. There we go. Oh, there's a PCXT core coming out. There's so many cores coming out for that are computer related, right? The one I really need to mess with is 68,000. There's so many cool experiences on that one, especially on the MIDI side. It is not fully baked yet, so there's that. A lot of those cores. But it's like all those core, all the things that Mr. can support eventually will be very well baked and very well done, because it just takes time for developers to do that, and someone to do it and pick it up too. This might support widescreen, yeah. I'm pretty... It might from the beginning, or there's a patch for it, but it might out of the box. Yeah, I think they envisioned this game... didn't they envision this as like kind of like a D&D in the sense that you could build your own environments and adventures and all that stuff? Like they were building it as a sandbox experience. Sap me, bro. I freed you. Don't attack me. Cool, we get some more offensive spells here now, but as you notice, I'm only still level 2 in combat magic, so it takes a while to level up just from doing it. Yeah, I'm trying to think when I played this. I think it was still on a... Yeah, on a 4x3. We had 4x3s. I had a 4x3 flat panel at home. I still have that monitor. at the time when I was playing DOC. But definitely, I think there's patches and maybe modern versions. And maybe it supports it out of the box too, honestly. But at this point, you can buy it on GOG, I think, and play with newer stuff, so... yeah, that horn riff is... They use it a lot now there. Crypt of the Sacred Blood. Well, that seems like a great place to go grave defiling. Pixie has given you a gift of mana. Ooh, pixies. I think we're off the beaten path now. Yeah, it's like one of those, it was available, but... Let's go up there and twist that statue. Ooh. I don't know... Yeah, exactly. Well, you want to make sure everyone finds it. I mean, you spend a lot of money on it, right? So... It's a dungeon. Let's siege it. Gargoyles. I'm not sure I think we went the right way. Doesn't matter. Ooh, water. I don't have the camera set up right now, but I am playing this on a 19-inch CRT right now, which is what, you know, I'm playing on original hardware, of course. You can see the specs right down here. And then on a CRT for the true experience. My firewall's bigger than yours. Ooh, I can mess with the statue. That is a sewer level, isn't it? Civvy sewer level counts coming into play. Skeleton's got a lot more health. But it moves very slow, so I can kite it. Ooh, polar staff. Sold this then. Let's see. Intelligence 12. Ooh, it's a big one. Can't use that one yet. Alright. I'm sure we'll find some lava. Is there another 524 now? Killing me, Smalls. Oh my, starting bid on offer. Oof. That, oh, it was 100. That's an expensive shipping, but alright, we'll have to consider that one. We'll see, that bid's probably going to fly up, so. Good find. Could make an offer on that one. I gotta think about that one. It's a little rough. I'll take a look at it later too there, but I don't want to take too much time around the stream. But I'm on the hunt for a, I used to have a compact Presario. There, I love my journal. There we go. Like a Jack Russell Terrier. No, okay, it was pretty rough condition. That probably doesn't help. Oh, it damaged. Oh, okay, alright, I'll take a look at it, but... So, 524, I used to have, like, my first real computer. I got a hand-me-down 2D6 or something from my dad that he used for his business. That was my first computer. My first real computer we bought was a compact Presario CDS 510. So, it's basically the compact Presario all-in-one. The CRT, the speakers. LGR has the one that's the 425, the one without the speakers and the multimedia. And that was really my first real computing experience of my 486, 33. So I spent a lot of my time, you know, that's where I played like Dark Forces and, you know, so many different games. And Doom and Transport Tycoon. And so I love that computer. But finding one now it's a very collectible item now, especially here. They did not make as many versions of it here than they did in Europe. It was quite common in Europe, I think, or common at least. More common in here, in the US. I think this was the side area. There's nothing here to... This was not the Blood Crypt. It was just a neat little side area. Lame. Alright. Let's go back out and find the Blood Crypt then. Pulling 115 FPS here, 130 FPS. That's when you post a screenshot of that on a forum back in 2002 and say like, well, look at my 9700 Pro pulling 130 FPS. Except when I go out in the overworld, so. Yeah. I would love a widescreen CRT, to be sure. The FW900 is not worth what people charge for it. I will just say that flat out, but maybe that's just me. It is just so ridiculous now. It's become a collectible item. The monitor itself is really cool, and I think it's a very neat one, but not for that price. I will not spend thousands of dollars on one piece of retro tech. There's nothing, not a single thing I will spend over $1,000 on, even several $100s on. And it's just, the market has driven it up to crazy levels. Alright, let's go to the actual crypts now. It's been dark for a long time here now, hasn't it? We'll follow the way signs. The thing is, a computer like that, a Mint 524, if you said, like, it showed up on eBay right now, and it's like, buy it now, $900, or something like that, I don't know. Like, even as a Grail status, that is so much money. For a single piece of retro tech. And that's the thing too. I can buy so many other things that I would enjoy, and I look at my list of things I want to get. I could buy a new camera for that money, you know? And that's where it really gets hard to justify it for that amount of money. It's like a few hundred? Yeah, I could see that being like, that's a passable price for me for the Grail, for the one and only Grail, or something like that. But once you get higher than that, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's just so much money. I just don't have enough disposable fund money to burn that much or something like that, so... Nice. That's the thing I do not have is SLI set up for Voodoo 2, so I never got to experience that. I mean, I heard nothing but good things. I think, Ted, you still have yours that you bought when they were new, right? If I remember right? That's awesome setup too. It's like I never got to experience like the pure power that is or was at the time. So oh, nice. Yeah, Radeon 9000 Pro is like a fantastic card. So I need to build a new machine around it. I built my Overkill 98 machine that I feel like it's kind of wasted in there. I want to use it on an XP machine. I might actually throw in this shuttle to make this shuttle the maximum upgrade it can be. Make another video on it. Because you can throw a bigger processor and a faster card in there. The shuttle actually provides documentation. For that. They actually tested this very shuttle model in their documentation with the 9800 Pro specifically. So there's a 9700 Pro in here, of course, right now, but... Where's this crypt here that had a label to it? Well, this is a good sign. I think we entered crypt territory. Ooh. Yeah, exactly. And I never got to experience that. I had the Voodoo 1, which is in another computer here, my original card. And then I did not get a Voodoo 2 or Voodoo 3. I went right to TNT, I think, and there's one on the NVIDIA train after that. But, ooh, I'm smarter now. Big brain move. We already chatted about it. But I had a friend in school that had a Voodoo 2, and he loved it because it was so powerful at the time and everything, but I don't think I've ever seen in-person action of Voodoo 2 SLI, but the fact you could crank up the resolution to, at that point, you know, unheard of, but that was definitely the top of the line. When that came out, I mean, Ted, I know you talked about, yeah, and you had that since they were new, right? You bought the Voodoo 2s for SLI specifically when they're new, if I remember right. And I don't know anyone except... I mean, clearly people did, but you're the only one I'm aware of that I know somehow that actually did that. Because that must have been a pretty juicy price tag back in the day. How far does this go here? The path! Oh, this just circles around here, okay. I've been here. Let's just get to that crypt. Oh, you did too? Apparently lots of people did, and I just didn't. Ooh, Fairy is giving you gifts of life. Thank you. 600 pounds in the 90s. No, I was talking about Ted, so... very nice, yeah. So yeah, the Voodoo 1 and then basically shifted to... Ooh, it's auto-saving here, so we know this is the place. I already have full life. We're about to increase in combat magic, so... see how long it takes to get to a town in this game. Because we haven't been able to get to a town yet. I think we have to get through these crypts first. Or... a dungeon, as it were, that we're going to siege. Yeah, that was top tier spec at the time, right? So, max power. Nice. Even Darren, if I didn't say hi earlier, but that's pretty awesome. I only play this multiplayer in a LAN party setting, like with people next to me, so which makes this game very fun. But I had to get some more stuff here now. Ooh, mana fountain. It's got them very... Is it dark stone? Very much like... It feels like it because of the 3D engine, I suppose, so... But nice if we get some more spells or more AoE and stuff like that, because it's pretty sluggish right now. Come on. There, combat magic. Ah. I think I should do more damage now with my fireball, too. Ah. Yeah, Glide is just very special. It's hard to quantify it exactly. I think it's just, for me, Glide is just so period locked, if you will. You can say games from like 95 to 2000 or something like that, but just the Glide game specifically, you knew just, and Voodoo just tended to work really well. I mean, all the Voodoo cards have just run very well, so Glide was, just kind of enable it and good to go. I mean, it just worked really, really well. And it was just, you always knew you had a good time with it. Was supportive on everything, and it was so period specific. And this makes it really fun for me. So broadly supported too. It's just crazy how big they were for a while there. Now we're gonna channel our inner Diablo 2 grave robber here. Because why not? Got plenty of potions now, I think, yeah. They do not stack at all. That's unfortunate. Ooh, I can use this now. Yes, I have a very sharp stick now. Very nice, yeah. Yeah, people forget a lot. There were some games there that you don't immediately associate with, right? Diablo 2, fully supported Glide, and... wow, that's actually quite a bit of damage there. But that's alright, we're gonna stick with common magic. Is there a room in there that I haven't been in? Secret room here somehow? Not secret, you just walk in there. Why is it all these, like, hack and slash games that are just, like, grave robbing everything? Better call Ted. But yeah, again, it's something special about Glide. It's just hard to quantify exactly, but I remember living through the time, and it was Glide or nothing, you know, so... I'm gonna kite this guy, I think he's gonna hurt me pretty bad if I just... A lot of health, but he can't really hurt me, so... One more. Kablam. Yearling staff. That can't be a better one I have. 100 chance to block melee attack. That's 1 mana per hit. Okay, so that's a good one to have for... This is what this game is about, like the dopamine hit of getting loot, right? That's all what it's all about. All these hack and slash games, they're just built around the loot cycle. Get a little bigger number, cooler stuff. I'm alright with that. It's fun. Well, these traps aren't as bad as Nox that really were giving me trouble there. Oh, to stand there. Ow. Sorry, I just took a fireball to the face. No problem. We're the hero. I think we're spoiled for choice now, right? Because you look at it like you can build a machine today that is, you use an MX card or something that you can, yeah, Borderlands is just ridiculous. When it came out, it was novel, but now it's just like, every time I play Borderlands, I have Borderlands 2 installed on my Steam Deck, and it plays well on there, but it's just like, the constant sorting through loot gets a little boring after a while. Anyway, throughout, oh, that's too bad. No one really figured it out, right? And I think I remember seeing, I watched you look back at the videos that Phil covered the Voodoo 5s in the beginning, and him posting on Vogons about it, like, oh, Voodoo 5 is a cheap option because they're so cheap to buy now, like 2013 or something, right? Now they're like the most expensive video card almost because it's the best glide card, so then price follows. It's just crazy. Now, there you go. That's one way to do it. With Spellbook. I'll take that. So you can have multiple spellbooks. You can basically put spells in them if you want to switch out to different builds, if that makes sense. Stop shooting me. I'm trying to keep up in chat now, but I'm trying to focus too, so... If I miss any messages, I do not mean to ignore. I might just miss it there. Don't be afraid to... If there's something you want me to discuss specifically, or just ramble on about, don't be afraid to repeat it again, so... I do not mind at all. Skeleton. So if the game, looks a rough like this now, but I think it's still fun to play, for sure. Take a health potion. I have so many anyway. The love of Ethan Stambridge, so. The goggles, they do nothing. Yeah, I have not tried the glide emulation. I really should do that. I do want to. I almost have like a vision in mind that I want to use some small, like I want to build like a very cheap, like modern computer, and then I want to have an actual CRT hooked up to it permanently and use that as kind of like a full like retro experience machine with doing the emulation with the glide, like you're mentioning there, and playing indie games, stuff like that. I don't know. Might be worth experiment. It's probably challenging. Some games and a lot of experiences are expecting widescreen now. But it'd still be fun to do, so. So I haven't messed too much with N-Glide. I used a little bit on the Windows 98 Overkill machine, I think. If I remember right. Yes, thank you. I'm definitely feeling better. I had a 2-week restriction on lifting things, which means I could not pick up my dog, I couldn't pick up my kids, and anything like that. And I'm basically beyond that now, so at this point now it's just healing. From the perspective of my day-to-day life, I'm basically back to normal. The Life of Ethan Stambridge. Reading. So the 7 Mortar one I use for that is a it's basically like a Dell Optiplex 3070, I want to say. So it's basically one of those, like, not the super small format, this medium-sized one. So I use that. And what I'm planning on doing with that now is actually making a SteamOS machine out of it. Because why not? I'm playing a lot of Steam games now because of the Steam Deck. The ability to play on my regular computer and then go to my Steam Deck with the same save has been really nice. And I kind of want that set up on my TV as well. Mostly to stream games over the in-home streaming from the desktop. So, but that is a good machine for that otherwise because it would go very well with the CRT. And I did that exact thing at the LAN party, right? I used that machine as a retro throwback, hooked up only to CRT. Because I didn't want to bring another screen for it, so... Yeah, you're right. It might be the one for it. But I don't know. It seems like silly, but it would be nice to have a modern build ready to go for the express use of CRT setup. So I might look into that. I mean, I have enough machines to make that work, so... this way, it looks like. Yep, thanks. It's nice to be back, so... I know. Oh, sorry. It's so hard having to play on my Steam Deck all the time. It's so amazing. No. Yeah, it's... That is true. That is definitely a different resolution, which is why when I play games here and I stream, I try and do 1280 by 960. And it's something that people don't think too much about, the fact that it's not 4:3 anymore. And it's weird. It feels like the natural... When I was at the time, I definitely thought that, like, the next step up 4:3 was 1280 by 1024, but it's 1280 by 960. So that's something that you forget, if you will. So, oh, nice, awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? I have some old video cards like that. I think I have a 660 GTX 660 or whatever what is, which would... It's such an in-betweener, right? There's nothing I would do with that would be modern, if you will. I took it out of my kid's computer, and he's got a 1050 Ti now. Ian Bruce Lucas, welcome. Speaking of deck, I think, Bruce, you just got yours today, didn't you? Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. The deck, I am very happy for Valve. It is a solid piece of kit. That's all I can say about it. I'm so happy with it because it is... I play more PC games on that than my machine now. It is so convenient, and I love... It's the tinkerer's dream. If you like installing stuff and testing emulators and playing old games and learning Linux, honestly, for me too, it is just does everything. It's just... I'm so glad that Valve did this and that they pulled it off. And I'm excited to see what portable... I think this is a huge surge for Linux gaming, and the fact Proton works so well. I'm having a blast with it. I mean, I'm playing No Man's Sky with some friends now on desktop, and I can continue my save, but just when we're done, I just hop on my Steam Deck and play the exact same save again. And being able to do that is pretty freaking slick, so... we're going deeper underground. We get some extra stuff on the screen, and now it drops to 40-some FPS. Well, let's see. Yeah, it didn't have to be super modern. Like, well, the thing is that, so now we're diving into the wonderful world of Steam Deck here now. But the 40 hertz mode is like magic. It's hard to describe, but the panel running at 40 hertz and the game locked in 40 FPS. It's as smooth as 60. It's hard to describe, but because the frame time is so low at 40 exactly, it is fantastic for any of the 3D action games I play on or something. So I don't miss VRR or being able to do that at all, because 40 works so flippin' well. It's hard to describe, but it's like freaking magic. I didn't realize that was a thing until they released it on the deck, and now any game that I can run it on, I use it for, because it's much less demanding than 60, but it's a perfect mixture of battery life and performance and smoothness, because the frame time is much lower at 40 than it's at 30. Much lower. But it's still not as demanding as 60 FPS, so it's a great compromise for any of these action 3D platformer or action 3D games. So, sorry, I'm trying to catch up on all the adapters here now. Yeah, I do have an active HDMI to VGA, which is what I've used for playing. When I played Doom RTX, for example, I played it on CRT with that, and it's just a very cheap dongle. It works great. So there's a lot of options there. Some adapters are not going to play nice. It's just a matter of finding the right one. But the one I have a couple, and both of them work really well, honestly. At 40 on the Steam Deck, it's just a perfect fit, because it just, you kind of temper expectations. I mean, right? It's more like a portable PS4. If you think it in a console aspect, there's not that many modern games you run at 60. That's usually not happening. Older games, yeah, for sure. I run Kingdoms of Amalur at 60 FPS, like, without breaking a sweat for 5 hours on that thing. So, yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got the gist of it there. But 40, it's hard to describe, but because the screen is locked at 40, and the blur is very low on the LCD panel on the Steam Deck. I don't know how they did that, but there's almost no screen blur on it. Very good refresh rate on it, or whatever. It might be gray to gray. But the 40 lock in the Steam Deck controls of the panel, and the frame rate lock to 40 FPS is like magic, because it just sits there rock solid. The frame time is like 12.5 milliseconds or something like that, and it's just IPS. There you go. It is just phenomenal. I mean, you probably tested it already, Bruce, but it's just, it is the way to go for playing games on the Steam Deck, I think. Sorry, Tyler Jane, we're just rubbing in everyone who doesn't have one. I'm not sure all of us ordered one here. I sound like evangelical about this device that is just a consumer product that they are selling, but I just love it from a usability perspective. So, all right, thanks for stopping by, Darren. We are gonna, well, we're not gonna kill dragons. We're gonna siege some dungeons, right? Whatever that means. Aha, here we go. This is a big crypt. The lifesteal's not really worth it, is it? I think it might. The, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does take some getting used to. It's so large, right? So, no, they're dragons. Yeah, I think they're bigger monsters later on, so. The, it is a large device. But I will say they balance it very well, and it sits really well in the hands. That surprised me a little bit, too. That the size just kind of melts away as you use it, and I don't see how they could have made it any more efficient size for what it is. I mean, it's a computer. It's an actual computer. It's not a, you know, it's not running a mobile processor in there. It's a full computer, so. Yeah. It just works. It just works, and I'm just, you know, they're pushing the compatibility, and there's more games being able to play it on all the time. And for the ones that like tinkering or messing with emulators and setting that up, I mean, it's just endless. I have not yet. I feel like that will work pretty well for playing, you know, pinball games. I've seen people do it, or arcade shooters like that. The fact that Valve made it open, you know what? Just thank you, Valve. It is a full open platform. You want to break it, go nuts. You want to take it open? They sell official replacement parts from iFixit. You can buy a fan replacement. You can buy a screen replacement. Whatever you want to do. Like, they'll honor the warranty, and they let you do whatever you want on it, and that's amazing. I want more people to follow that guide, you know, because right now, like, this is weird. Well, I go into desktop mode, and I go in and mess around with Linux to get this to work. Oh, now the game's working. I'll go back into Steam and play it. It's just, like, they let you do that. If you do not want to mess with that, you just stick with the verified games from Steam, and you're done. Just install the games from Steam and play. And it works like exactly like a console, handheld. But if you want to tinker, if you want to dig, they say go nuts. You want to run Windows on it? Go nuts. You want to install custom skins on it? Go nuts. You want to break the whole operating system? Go nuts, you know. They let you do all of that. And that is a huge plus, I think, for the device in general. It's built from the ground up to be open. And that's not common with new devices. Especially once it's expensive, so. Yeah, exactly. You can do that too. It's like, it takes a little trickery and messing around with it to get it to work. Once you're set up, it's fine. I meant more like, if you want to use it, I saw the heat pipe and everything. If you want to, as a you know, layman, like, I'm going to buy this thing and play games on it. I don't want to mess with anything at all. Then you can just buy Steam games and you're done, right? It works, especially verified ones. But you still can do all the other stuff, or play Epic games, GOG, Origin games, all that stuff works. Ubisoft games, just a little more work on it. You can install Windows, of course, on it too, so. But I don't think I ever will install Windows on it. I like the Steam OS way too much, and all the capability that it brings, so. I'm talking a lot. I need a refresh drink here. Yeah, I haven't tried out GOG yet on it. I think it does work pretty well, so. Yeah, exactly. Just mess around with it more. This is an interesting one. My wife found this. It's called a Finnish long drink. I can't say I'd ever heard of it before, but it's basically like a... It's hard to describe, but it's very... It's kind of like spiked lemonade, you know. And apparently it's very common in Finland. And being in a neighboring country to Finland, I don't think I've ever heard of this before, but... It, you know, it's kind of a mixture between a cider and a lemonade kind of thing. So, hard lemonade. A V-finish long drink. And it's very sweet. It's pretty good. Let's see. We have some more stuff here. You know, that is a lost marketing opportunity, isn't it? It is not a long can at all. That's kind of a jip. Yeah, I think so. I really hope that Steam Deck and Valve here will usher in, especially since it's so popular, and they haven't made the Steam Deck exclusive. SteamOS can be installed on anything, right? So that means that third-party manufacturers can make their own Steam Decks. And that means that we'll have more in that ecosystem, which means that I'm hoping that it will bring, yeah, more open stuff. That we'll see that becoming a thing, so... But retro games, am I right? No. I think that's one of the things that the Steam Deck is so cool, too, that it can run so many emulators and so many things. It's a PC, right? So, any of the, you know, 2000 to 2015 games run great on it, so... That would be a cool color, I'm not gonna lie. It's a nice color. Noctua brown. Ooh, I'm gonna take this. Surely nothing bad will happen here. Let's go Grave Robin. So that's what we do in these games. It's just... I mean, again, any... you look at the grimdark setting of Diablo now. It's like, the poor people that live in that world... The amount of, like... How is anyone still alive in that universe? Because the amount of, like, you look at the backstory of Diablo, and you look at the world for Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and now eventually Diablo 4 and everything. It's like, my goodness. There's got to be more monsters than people in that world. And there's so many horrible things happening to them all the time. It's like... That is not a happy-go-lucky place. I think we're coming out of the crypt here now. We're going up. Maybe. The music is returning, so I think we are. Oh! There's a boss, alright. Got freaking freaking Superman laser beam eyes. Stop lasering me, brah. That's alright, I have lots of health potions. I'm gonna take care of his minion here. Ah. Boom! The Heartstopper. What is the Heartstopper, I do ask? No, not that one. Drop the bow, I'm not gonna use it anyway. Alright, well, it's a bow. I can't use it, but I can probably sell it. Yeah, you can't really kite yet, right? So, especially with the... That was an always hit scan, like, laser beam. It was brown, yeah, brown houses. Neutral colors is what matters now. Someone painted like a house up here on the street. I would say Barney purple, but it was definitely a mixture between blue and Barney purple. And it's like, we were all shocked because, I mean, we don't care, it's fine. But there's an HOA here and our house is gray and all the houses are earth tones and colors. And then like this somewhat purple house popped up. I'm like, wow, that got approved, huh? Yeah, Diablo's great. I mean, I think the, what is it, the Pentium 60. I think I played it on a Blurple. There you go. That's probably the right color. I played Diablo on a Pentium 100, and it ran great, so... You should probably try it. I don't think... I have never played the expansion. I never bought the Hellfire expansion, which I believe was not made by Blizzard itself. It was a third-party company that made it, right? If I remember right. You should try it. I think you have a moral obligation now, Sucro, to try anything on that 46, so... Oh, man.
You are either a hero or the most spectacular fool I've ever had the good
Who is a fool because you are hanging out in a crypt?
I am the scribe Laura. Another day forced to translate tomb markers for the crow.
You know there was like monsters like in the next door here, right?
These thick-headed brutes barely understand.
Yeah, you should play it. It's great. Definitely try it. Even if you don't play on a 46, you still play Diablo 1. It is just such a... It's still a good game by today's standards. Definitely a little rough around the edges in some respects, but you see the lineage of the lineage of action RPGs. If you look at Diablo 1, right? How many things Blizzard established, and it was such a revelation to me, at least when it came out. I remember reading the previews for it and looking at it, I was like, this looks amazing. I played it and it's like, this is amazing. Yeah, Lego, whatever. Hey, you're making yourself into the 486 man now. You need to make your make like a special intro for the 486 segment. So,
My
sure.
thanks. I did not cherish the thought of finding my way up.
Okay, I think I'm gonna give you some weapons here now because it feels like we need some weapons. All right, so you have a book. I give you some gloves. Can you use a bow? It's a club. Yeah, you can equip your dudes like this here. Let's see, what's her stats? So she's 10, 10, 10. She doesn't really have anything. We can make her a ranged one. I can bow shoot her for now. Flesh meat. I think we streamed Diablo, right? And I think that I got completely hosed by the Butcher. And it terrified me the first time I played as a kid, because that guy comes out with freaking vengeance out of that. He comes running and just attacks. And, Alright, to select a... select the same party member. So we have now a party member that follows us along. But she will... that's her special class. She will attack automatically, should. But in this case here, they're actual... And random game, if you want to say that's that's kind of a common theme here now. Or Ted is well known for making that joke. So, yeah, I think the polish that Blizzard brings to their games, right? I think that's the one that really threw me off. That it was so well made. Like, it was a solid game. And it played so well, had great graphics, great sound, great atmosphere, great writing. Everything was just really good about it. And the same way I felt about Westwood games at the time, too. The polish and the solid feel of the game right out of the gate. You bought the box, you brought the game home, and the game just ran. It was a great experience right out of the box. You know, there was no buggy mess or anything like that. And I think Blizzard and Westwood both had that reputation, for me anyway. And Blizzard really solidified that with... Diablo. It just played so well. So yeah, you start getting party members, and you want to have a mixture of party members because eventually you can solo this game, but you really shouldn't. I could, of course, made her a melee character here now instead, but maybe I'll reconfigure her to be a melee character because that seems like better now. I needed someone to do cover for me. I have a 2-4 club. Alright, you can have a dagger. And then you can basically just select, yeah, the DOS installers. Really? I could have sworn it was 96 too, but yeah, I'm not sure you looked it up, so... yeah, Command & Conquer is, I don't know, it was really fun. Yeah, the DOS installers were amazing for Red Alert and Command & Conquer, so with the sound stuff and like the animations and everything. And I still want to make videos on it, kind of like a video idea I have of making a mood set installation video. It is not talking or anything, it's just basically a retro computer and try and make it like look era appropriate around it and just install the game and do like panning shots and stuff like that, the CDs being inserted and like capturing the whole installation progress and then just kind of finishing out there. Just this is a fun experiment. But that sounds like a lot of work. So let's just play some hack and slash. Oops, I'm playing as her now. No. Do my bidding. And you can completely play as... Of course, now you get inventory too here. We have a chuck. Yeah, that's better. You could play as... just let your character be basically support if you wanted to, so... we're not going back down there, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, I've heard the problem with Blade Runner. Like, they do really good remasters, so I'm really surprised that was that bad. I haven't played it, of course. I shouldn't say anything like that, but I've heard that, like, the upscaling is just not good. Like, the original pixel art looks way better, so, yeah. Well, thanks, Tyler Jane. I think it would be fun, because I am clearly just trying to say, like, hey, you remember that thing? It's very much a nostalgia kick, whatever, but I just like the idea as a video concept to cover some of the more interesting installers. Some game installers were like, whatever, it's just a progress bar, but like, Alert, Command & Conquer, there's plenty of them that are really interesting, and it would be really fun to basically document them in video format, so it's an idea I have, at least now that my... recovery is complete, I can lift computers again. I had to ask my wife to move my CRT off my desk because I couldn't lift it. And I've never felt so helpless as a retro nerd not being able to lift my old junk, my old crap. So now I can do that again. You want to go attack there? There we go. So we need a better weapon for this lass here. He really is not attacking. Is there any AI here now? What's our AI set? Engage. Hold ground, no. Then move anywhere to pursue, okay. You can mess with the AI here, so we'll see. Is this a better leather or not? Strength 12. Yeah, she doesn't have that yet. Maybe I'll keep her as an archer for now. She seemed to be actually firing when she did that, so... we'll set her to hold ground. Attack freely, there we go. She shouldn't defend, that's the problem. Okay. I don't know what the best... And she's a 10-10-10, so she has no skill per se, so it doesn't really matter what you make her into right now. So maybe I'll wait for a heavier melee character to come along. The CNC remaster was really, really good. Yeah, definitely like that one. I do have the big box for it, of course, because I bought the limited run games one. I like the fact you can hop around back between the original art style and the new one as well. That is a really nice touch. You can tell they made it with the community in mind, and it was a true, like, passion project remaster. It was done by Petroglyph, you know, the people that originally made Command & Conquer. Most of the people that used to work at Westwood, or not most, but a lot of them went to Petroglyph or created that company. So they got them back, and Frank Kopacki to record all the sound again, and that's amazing, so... Alright, let's see if she attacks a little more aggressively now. Let's attack aggressively. Cycle through different formations. Yeah, whatever. She still is waiting an awful long to attack. I'm using her as like a fire poker. Oh, we got a resurrector here, a shaman. Never seen that before. Really does, huh? Interesting. I'll check that out. I didn't realize it ran on such slow stuff, because, I mean, it's got full 4K support or whatever, so... Meat. Fast attack speed. I don't think we need the meat. We have the meats. You know, I don't know. I think 6, right? Total, including your character. You get a pretty big party on, so, Yeah, you might be right, Solar. I'm not sure what happened there as far as like the remaster, because Night Dive does a really good job otherwise, you know. They did the remaster for the Power Slave, right? And that's good. And I mean, they've done so many good remasters. I'm not entirely sure what happened with the with that one, so I don't know that I played the StarCraft remaster one at all. I probably should check that out too. Hey, whatever floats your boat, and play the game your way. Her. There, I think she actually got that kill there. I'll use such a damage add right now with a bow. We'll focus on the bow. We're already committed to that now. I mean, you're still freely moving around like this. I think it's really cool. You know, I don't know if the Blizzard one works. I can't remember if that was a problem or not. Some of the launchers work well, some of them don't. It has to do with just like the anti-cheat protection and all that good stuff they got might have going on and what calls it makes. It's a little hit or miss sometimes. I mean, I'm smarter, but it doesn't help the dude just whack him in the face. Really would like to get to a town now. Ooh, a lemon. Crusted Gladius. I have a lot of potions now. Too many potions. I don't need a rock club. That's worthless now. It's already inscribed. Alright, well, you can have that. You can have a spell book. Get some more room here. Wish you could stack potions. You cannot. What's the linen? Add 7 to health. Defense 6. So, well, that's superior. I got a robe now. Crude leather. 6. Crusted Gladius. That's a pretty good weapon there. We'll get up to her for now. Worn rigid leather is 44, but requires strength. She doesn't have that. No. Oh, I gave her the wrong book. All right, well, no. Whatever. Whatevs. And then eventually you'll have a caster course that can help you with nature magic. We'll focus on that later, too. Oh, missed some gold. Starts unlocking and getting more and more stuff right now. So let's probably save. Fun game. Yeah, that's the thing with the Power Slave remaster. And, you know, that's exactly how you do a remaster, right? Like you said, they took all the good parts about the different games and mushed them together, because the PC version and the Saturn are very different than the PlayStation 1. The fact that they just took the bits and pieces that they liked and made it into one, and that's exactly right how you do remaster, right? And they did the Quake remaster too, right? Which I've heard is really good too. So that's why I'm a little surprised that the Blade Runner one has gotten pretty bad feedback. So I don't know. Yeah, I really should watch, because the Ross from Accursed Farms, right? Does he do... I think he does, like, just plays games, right, that are outside of the Freeman's mind. Because those are really funny. But I should watch him play other stuff, too. Yeah, I wonder, too, because, I mean, they seem really committed to quality, right? I mean, MVG, or Modern Vintage Gamer, he's part of that crew, right? He does some of that. He's the lead on some of those. I imagine he's interested in getting it right, too. So they seem to really care about the properties, right? So that is true. They definitely have more of a first-person shooter flavor, so it's hard to upscale 2D pixel graphics. It never really turns out well, right? I know there's a thing right now going around about some 2D tactics game, right? A remaster or something that uses smooth out pixel graphics, and it just never looks quite right. So in the case of like Command & Conquer Remaster, they re-rendered or made new 3D models for like all the units so they could upscale them as much as they want, right? Because if you take the original pixel stuff and upscale, it just never looks right unless you use integer scaling, which isn't always practical, right? And people don't want big chunky pixels anymore. I love big chunky pixels, but I cannot lie. But that's not what most people want, so... Certainly helps. She's definitely doing a big difference here now, because just the extra arrows coming in, so... There's too many games, right? I think basically by the time I'm retired, that's when I can really play games or something. I don't know how to keep up with all the games. Yeah, it's true. There was... I really want to try out... I've never played Command & Conquer on the N64. I really want to try that out, so... yes. I remember having a conversation with my friend who had the Voodoo 2. He was a really big on... He was a artist. He drew stuff, and he was really talented. And he is talented still. But he got the Voodoo 2, and the first thing he always asked when I said it was a new game out, well, the graphics good? And I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, I remember even back then, like in the late 90s, graphics can be cool, but to me, the gameplay, he's like, no, it's graphics. That's all he cared about, because he liked graphics. That's what was important to him. Playing Unreal was like, the graphics was important for him in that game, not the storytelling or the environmental storytelling or everything it put together. Like, Unreal is a good package of a game. You know, it's got good atmosphere, good storytelling, good audio design, good graphics too, and just good game in general. But for him, it was the graphics. How good did it look? I remember being flustered about that, but he did not relent. It was just graphics. Yeah, exactly. And I think that a good pixel artisty game, for example, right, that uses 2D pixels and that kind of stuff can be glorious. I mean, you look at some of the 2D pixel artistry in some of the modern games, like Iconoclast, for example. Now, that said, of course, it's very advanced graphics on a different layer. It's very, very good pixel artistry at that point. But at the same time, when I sit down and play a game on Nintendo 8-bit, I'm not sitting there like, oh man, this graphics suck, you know. It's important to put it in perspective. As long as it serves the game, it can still be a super fun game, you know. I was gonna do the meme here, Bruce, with just get out. Get out. No. It's just, you know, graphics is what sells it, right? Especially in the 90s when we're talking about the bits and all the stuff, so... Yeah, so RTX, I will say the difference there, right? It's just the technology, right? Because RTX, I was skeptical too until I saw it. I'm like, this is the future. The difference in mood it makes in a game is just, you know... no pun intended, is unreal. Like, the difference is huge. Yeah, I'm gonna do that guy attack freely because I'm tired of... Oh! Oh, I guess she doesn't have any health potions in her inventory. We'll have some. Can you set her to auto-use health potions? I don't know. I think we got a bow there that was better. Well, she's gonna have that. 9 to 15. Yeah, that is much better. Get rid of that. I'm not going to multi-class her, but we're just going to use her. Keep making her... You see the difficulty kind of ramped up there, so... I believe it has grenades. This game has guns and grenades. I think later on. For some reason. I don't know, but I believe there are guns and like miniguns you can carry around in this game, so... Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's hard to quantify 3D acceleration when that came on the market, right? For all of us to live through it, and seeing Quake software now, I have a nostalgic feelings for like Quake software or Doom or whatever. You know, it feels cool and it's pixely and all that stuff. But then you look at what Voodoo brought to the market, and then eventually all the other competitors too. Just like holy buckets, the difference. I mean, it was just night and day. It was unthinkable. And you got that just overnight, the whole 3D landscape changed. That's going to be hard to replicate. I feel RTX is not far behind applied correctly. It's not quite like a blanket, like 3D acceleration is like better than software, which, you know, that can be argued or whatever. Yeah, exactly. 3D games you got on the N64 that looked really good, and you had like the standard now of good 3D games. Now, hindsight, I think we all were annoyed about the aggressive push to go to 3D. There were so many games that could be good, like Symphony of the Night, right? It's amazing 2D game on the PlayStation, which was a very 3D heavy console. I think that applied correctly, RTX is that. I mean, Cyberpunk with RTX on is... holy crap. I mean, it looks just so good, and it serves the mood so well. And not always other games that maybe use it the best way. I think Control as well is also fantastic because of the architecture. I think that the brutalist, like, straight edges work great with RTX. And I think it's not a cure-all or a magic bullet the way that 3D acceleration as a whole was. But applied correctly, it is a huge difference. I'm hoping for the next... now that would be a thing, like a built-in DALL-E prompt. I think that the next generation of video cards now, with the 4000 series, and then the next AMD generation, if we can get ray tracing where it is very accessible in the sense that you can run ray tracing at 1440p without really having any frame problems, between upscaling technologies of FSR and DLSS, those things all merged together, I'm really hopeful for the future of graphics, because I felt like after a while they're like, how much more can we crank raster graphics? Like, how far can we get? But then upscaling and ray tracing, I'm like, well, that's it. I was very skeptical to ray tracing until I actually played it or tried it. Yeah. Sorry, I went a little side ranter about video cards and everything, but... yeah, didn't they cripple the DALL-E stuff a little bit because they wanted to make sure that it can't, like, generate too realistic stuff? You know, I've yet to try Quake 2 RTX, so... I was thinking of making a video at some point of RTX games on a CRT because it's fun. Like, you know, Medieval, Quake 2, Doom. It would be fun to make a little video here of doing that stuff, so... just cuz. And you have my bow. There we go. Her bow is doing really good stuff right now, so... yeah. It's weird. I was streaming here. You didn't probably see that, but a few months ago, we streamed a Medieval, and I played it on a CRT, and a fairly modern-ish Dell CRT, like a pretty late model CRT. And, I mean, it looks so good. It just looks so good. And then my 3060 Ti can, you know, crank the ray tracing, because I don't have a, you know, I have a 3080 or 3080 Ti. But the 3060 Ti can handle the 1024 resolution great. It really, really is. And Medieval may be the best case for, like, it's so much color lighting. I love the design in that game. And just, they went in for it with the Heretic Hexen style, right? And, is it Heretic or Heretic? I don't know. I'm not a native speaker, so take it for what it is, but you're right, Tyler Jane. It looks great on a CRT, and it feels like it was almost made for it. So I'd like to make a video featuring ray trace games on a CRT, because why not? See, my list of video ideas is about this long, and my pipeline or processing speed of videos is about yay, but I'm currently working on a video. I know my last video hasn't been since April. I am currently working on a video, and I'm really hoping to increase my production speed. Oh, wow. Damn, girl, you got a good bow there, just mowing down. All right, well, I'll keep that in mind. That worked. Give me 5 when ready. Yeah, that made an actual difference here. She's hitting hard now. You have good equipment, so... I don't know. So the tricky part when it comes to that when you come to high refresh rates for HDMI, right, I think that what happens is that with the CRT, you get within and without spec, right? I would think you can. I would think you can, right? But it depends on the adapter, what it supports. And also, are you within HDMI spec? Because that's a problem, is as soon as you're piping out HDMI, you may not have the spec. Like, the same reason why it may be challenging to get 240p on through HDMI and stuff like that at the right refresh rates, because it can be tricky. I know the CRT driver and all that stuff, right? Because the refresh rates on some of those are not within HDMI spec. But I would think 120 hertz is possible. I think my adapter caps out at 85 or 90, maybe, or 95, something like that. I don't think I can crank it to 120. That's just my really cheapo, like, you know, $15 adapter, so. Yep, exactly. It is AMD exclusive. You can set custom timings on AMD cards as well. Or sorry, NVIDIA cards. So you can build a custom resolution that way. But, should save again. As far as the AMD, I think the CRT driver is the best way to go. But the nice part is with, so far, when I was playing the modern games using that method, that adapter that was like 15 bucks has worked flawlessly. I mean, I just plug it in, I plug in my CRT, and there we go. Well, thanks for taking a hit for me there. You can keep firing now. Ah. Absolutely. It's funny too, because you think like, you know, oh, well, it's not the top tier one or whatever. When you look at like one generation back, how much more powerful the 3000 series is and the cards now, like it was a big leap. This was right in the middle of the, my wife wanted a new computer because her machine was really old. And what we looked at is like, she doesn't really play games outside of like Hearthstone and some basic games, so she doesn't need a very powerful video card. I had a 1080 in my machine. So what we opted to do then was buy a pre-built, because this was during the middle of the worst part, right? We ended up buying a pre-built with a 3060 Ti. I took that, she got my 1080, and then that worked out great. But and then I haven't played as much games on my primary PC that much anymore, so I haven't felt the need to upgrade yet, so we'll see. I'll wait for the next generation or whatever. Alright, Bruce, have a good one. Make sure you look at the road instead of, like, deliver and hold your Steam Deck up and try and drive at the same time. Maybe there's a delivery driver simulator you can play on there. But thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Fire, she increased dexterity. I feel like we're unlocking stuff right now by having our companion getting stronger here now. It's helping a lot. Her bow is really hitting hard now. But yes, I am working on the video right now. I realized that, like, not all videos are going to be fast, and I can be okay with that. Hoping it should be out here in the next couple of weeks or so. I am filming for it. I've already started editing some of it. I need to record all my A-roll, but it is actually in progress. I feel your pain there. At the same time, the 2080 Ti is still an amazing card. So I feel your pain in the sense that, like, oh, you know, there was something came out as much stronger now already. At the same time, that's still a really good card, so... But I get it. Take it in a vacuum, right? The 3000 series was just... eclipsed it right away. I feel like I'm still in, like, shock in the sense of how quickly it's been moving the last, like, 5 years in video card development. Because it feels like for a while there, it was like, you know, they were kind of like hitting the limit and there were some problems manufacturing. And all of a sudden, like, it's freaking uncorked, like from the 1000 series, the 2000 series, 3000, and now with the next one now, the generational leaps are huge. Like, the performance for each generation is a big leap up. And that's, for a while there, that wasn't the case. It felt like it was pretty slow there. I wouldn't say slow, but it's just like, it wasn't accelerating as fast as it might have for a long time ago. Good evening, Ron. Welcome. Yeah, really should figure out that sometime, Ron. That would be awesome to do that. I know you are hosting with CSGO tomorrow. To check that out. I'm not sure I'll be able to join, but I think that's a really neat idea to do that multiplayer stuff. And this game is just... We had so much fun with this in multiplayer. So much fun. What did they... I saw an article talking about, like, why don't we have faster processors? Why do we cap out at, like, the 3-4 gigahertz? Like, why never got faster? And it's something with, you know, thermal efficiency, and then just the fact that silicon, you can only do so much. So that's why the focus shifted to features and multi-core and stuff like that. Just a faster processor doesn't really make sense anymore. Just pure speed. Nothing can take advantage of it and everything. So now, of course, we're, you know, we're getting up there anyway in clock speed. Gold. I like gold. Yeah, the RTX. I think that, I mean, 2000 series did RTX, right? But it was so nascent, if you will, or infant in its design. But then the 3000 really uncorked that, and now it sounds like, I mean, RTX is here to stay. Like, if you use a 3000 card now for just pure rasterized graphics, it's pretty freaking powerful. But then you know, you throw on RTX and upsampling or whatever it might be, and then you take away that extra headway anymore. So fire shot, is that the one I'm using? Where's my spell book? Where's my spell book? Oh, I can sort it. What the heck? Okay, fire shot is the one I am using, so never mind. Do you need... I'll just give these to you, I guess. Put those in your spell book. Already know that. Yeah, okay. What are we doing? Alright. But yeah, this is a great game, multiplayer. And it makes me hanker for that time again. I only played it on LAN, just direct LAN, so... Yeah, there you go. That works. My 1440p ultra-wide that I've had forever now, around 60. I mean, they're much better ultra-wides now, but it's hard to justify the upgrade cost, too. I would like to get... There's an Alienware ultra-wide OLED now that is like... That looks amazing, but there's so many things I want to buy, so it makes it hard to spend the moolah on one thing. Boy, she was just like hanging out in the crypt, and she's like, oh, you want to travel together? I'm like, sure. You're my minion now. You're gonna do my bidding. Resurrect, huh? Raise the dead. Well, that's escalated quickly. You can press F12. Oh, that's the Avengers Handbook, so... That's the thing, I would like that too, because the monitor I have is FreeSync version 1. I don't have an AMD card, but you can enable that override, and it works alright. That would be the nice part. I think that OLED panel from Alienware does support FreeSync, I think. But it's like a 38-inch, ultra-wide, 1440p, 140 hertz OLED. And I mean, ultimate gaming monitor, right? But it's still, you know, $1,000 at this point, so... And, I think we hit the first town! Huzzah! Yay!
Only a name given by a dying friend. Our beleaguered hero
We made it!
entered the battle-worn gates of Stonebridge. Who could know then that the arrival of...
Yeah, it's always a kicker, right? You get anything like that, and how well does it run with modern stuff, and depends what you do, right? I think anymore now, you have to consider all the overhead that modern computing has, right? From security stuff, and handshakes, and encryption, and who knows what. Oh, the frame rate just dropped as soon as we put more character models in here.
If you come looking for help, you'll not get much here.
Oh no,
But
the Krug.
carry off in a wagon, they smashed up or burned. They even put Gravemaker, my blessed old catapult, to the torch. Even though
Trying to keep up on all the chatter, sorry.
stone since I was a pup.
That's right, Stuart. It's just clock speed only matters so much, and eventually, you know, most applications became multi-core aware and everything, so.
Here nonetheless. If you're up for the task, can I come along?
Sure, I'll get it quick. Oh, he's coming along. All right. Well, you... let's see. You have 34 mana. You might be our healer dude, I think. You're going to give the spellbook to him. And I think... yeah, we're going to give Zap to you. And I'm going to make him a healer. Now we just need a melee dude here. Can I do anything? Fine. He'll be our melee dude then. Doesn't even see the spell. Interesting. I have the spellbook equipped. Fine, no spellbook for you. Oh, you can keep it for now. He'll be our melee dude for now. A protector. Yes, I will be. Are you coming to Ron? I will definitely be at the VCF Midwest. So I'm driving this year because last year, if you may recall, Ron and I met at VCF Midwest last year, which was awesome. Definitely looking forward to seeing everyone again. Last year I flew out because I didn't know what to expect. And we had Chris's Retrotech help me out. We went to Walmart so I could buy an extra bag so I could bring more junk home. This time I'm driving. My wife's actually coming along too. She's just going to check out the venue, then she's going to explore the area around there by herself. But we're going to take a road trip with other kids and everything. And it's about a 7-hour drive, so it'll be fun. But I realized last year it was just like, there were so many cases and towers and computers and stuff I would have loved. But shipping that was just so ludicrous. But a $20 like ATX case, like yoink, you know, there's just stacked. So what I'm hoping to do is bring stuff that I don't want anymore. Old cards, old towers. Thank you very much, Ron. Much appreciated. I'll pay you back. I'll buy you a taco or something in Chicago. Or sorry, Chicago dog. But the idea being to rotate out some of my stuff and bring home some new stuff is what I'm hoping to do. So, but yeah, there you go. And see you next year or the year after that, Solar. So, but again, thank you very much, Ron. The event is really fun. I saw the panel is going to be really cool this year. I think Adrian's Digital Basement is there now too, for the YouTubers panel, which is awesome as well. Okay, just flavor text. Yeah, it is that part. I flew last time, which, you know, made the trip quick, but also more challenging. I don't know. We'll see. That's the thing. It's like, it's hard to describe because last year, so they do the setup. The people that exhibit and vendors and stuff, they are allowed to come in and set up the night before. And I think we were kind of scoping out the place. I arrived pretty late that night. Scoping out. I talked to Clint LGR a little bit before the night before, so that was pretty cool. Learned a few things. And they were able to like see what was there. And if I had more space, I mean, I probably would have gained Muster's Den because the general public wasn't in yet, and people were already like kind of lining up stuff to sell. Like there was a lot of like backroom deals happening on very rare equipment right off the bat, you know. So awesome. Well, I hope you get the panel. So I talked to Jim Leonard last year, asking if we could do a panel on the Mister, and he said that, you know, people might be interested in that and everything. And I thought about pitching it, but I realized that I'm not ready for it yet. I would really like to show off the Mister from a retro computing perspective, but I don't have time to prep for it because I want to make sure I'm knowledgeable enough. I would love to show off some of the retro computing experience you can do on the Mister today. I would stress myself to death if I submitted that right now, because that's pure emulation, right? We're talking about not original hardware now, so it's also a touchy subject at VCF, because that is Vintage Computer Festival, is made for the vintage computing stuff. But I think the angle with the Mister being that if there's platforms you're curious about, you can use it as a way to dip your toes in it in a more hardware close fashion. And I think that would be a cool way to show that off. You bring a CRT, smack it up on the desk there, put it on a big projector, and show off, like, you know, here's the workbench on the Amiga. You know, hey, let's flip the Atari ST, and let's show some software running and stuff like that. And the fact that that device is so flexible, I think that would make an interesting presentation, but I did not want to present it in a way that wasn't enough, if you will. And that's, yeah, I wasn't ready for this year for that, so... Jim seemed open to it, but hopefully your thing gets approved there, Ron. That would be awesome to see you up there talking. Labor text. Since they're Krug. They're the bad guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That angle I think is important too, but yeah, I love VCF Midwest. It's really fun. 20-hour travel. That's a little iffy. That's got to be really... And it's easy to get the glamorous view of it outside, but I mean, it's still a pretty small venue. So it's not this huge thing. Like, I know that the hotel was sold out right away. So Ron, I'm not sure where you're staying. I'm in the Overflow Hotel because I booked it too late. So, and I think that, you know... It is just like, there's a lot of really old tech there. That's really cool. If you enjoy that, it's really cool. I think LGR brings kind of like a younger flavor to it. There was a lot of people there, young kids there to see LGR, which I thought was awesome. My first time going, of course, but there was a lot of stuff for the 8-bit and earlier stuff, if you like that. Not so much on the newer stuff, so. Yeah, I think we have a long way to go on that, Solar, from the perspective of just doing it. I think there's been other people here in the chat, too, that work with FPGAs in an industrial setting. A larger FPGA is stupid expensive, like thousands of dollars, because they're used for industrial purposes, and like prototyping and that kind of stuff. And what's unique about the Mister is that the D10 Nano chip is discounted from Intel. The chip on that board is more expensive than the whole board altogether. Like, if you were to just go buy the Cyclone 5 chip loose, that costs more than buying the full $200+ board from Terrasec. So that gives you an idea how much Intel pushes in money, because they want people to learn that platform. And they want to basically get people and then students committed to that platform, right? And then develop for it and everything. So she's got the bow pulled all the time. So, oh, you... Oh, okay, so you did it the first day? All right. Because I didn't think it would fill up that fast, because last year there were rooms available for quite a while. So I'm like, I figured like, whatever. And then I was like a few weeks after they opened it up, and it's like, it's full. Like, oh, whoops. So yeah, we're staying at the one Overflow Hotel, the one that's southwest of there. So, but we're staying for Friday and Saturday as well. We're going to drive out early Friday, so we'll probably be mid-afternoon there on Friday. So I'll come check out the venue right away then. It was neat to see all the people walking around, and what are standing in combat stands here. Guard Captain, you're safe enough for here now. I think the crew have a bad taste for us. Is there anywhere I can sell my loot? I would love to sell my loot. Ruins of Warren Cross. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like, even if there was a board, even if you have a superior board that was decently cheap, like say right now there's a D20. It's twice as powerful. It is twice as capable than the D10. The process of understanding the architecture behind, like, for example, N64, decoding that and transferring into the hardware description layer, or HDL, is an insane task. It is huge. It would take years. Now, we thought things like the PlayStation would be impossible. We thought things like Saturn would be impossible, and all of a sudden they pop out of nowhere. So we know that with enough commitment and smart people working on it, eventually would happen, probably. Like, if there was enough hardware resources to do it, they would do it. But it is a tall ask and a big lift. Put it in perspective, the PlayStation Core took well over a year to get it to a beta stage, right? And now that's very big. The developer for that is basically genius. I mean, he's made the Game Boy Core 2, or the Game Boy Advance Core, and many other things. So he's contributed a lot to the platform. So yes, it will have more and more potential, but we may not see more advanced systems for a long time, even with a more powerful device. So That makes sense, Ron. It was a little iffy last year because it was, you know, masking and COVID and everything. But right now, I've never been. That was my first time last year, of course. So that was my only experience with it. But I'm excited to see it now. I want to take more time to talk more with the exhibitors. Potentially filling my car with junk, I suppose. That might be a bad day for me. But I'm really looking forward to hanging out with everyone again. And I always feel like, I don't know, I haven't gone to any trade shows or stuff like this at all. This was my first venture out. I'm more understanding what to expect and everything. So, but I'd like to think I made some friends there last year. I'm hoping to see some more people. Although I don't have much to add to the Mac conversation, sorry. Ask me how I missed her, though. I can get going. Is there a store in this town? Because I would love to sell the Jack and Mare. This is it's a barn. Well, the FPS is really struggling in here. What do you have to say? Oh, I can buy a pack mule. I will buy a pack mule. The pack mule can carry your stuff and it acts like a party member. I have a mule. Yeah, that sounds about right. I didn't know he was doing with DS stuff, but I know that the memory is the problem. It's not, so like for Crash Course on FPGA, right? The FPGA chip can be reconfigured to duplicate the output of another chip, right? So you get the hardware layer duplication of the chip. The space on the FPGA chip is one thing, but the memory bandwidth is just not there. The D10 nanoboard was never meant for fast memory read and writes on that level. That's where you run into problems, so... Welcome, Robert Sides. Yeah, this has been a top-down as far as I know. You can, of course, zoom in a little bit and look at this glorious hat here. It is an amazing hat, but it is definitely a top-down isometric style game, so... I'm trying to remember if I... Ooh, Black Hammer Forge. Can I please sell my stuff? Please. Oh, shop. Here we go. Strength 13, what do you have? Strength 10, you could probably save that, because you'll use that later. We're going to sell that. I don't care about that. We're going to sell some mana potions. I do not need 47 mana potions. I really wish these stacked. I already have that one. I don't need that one. Magic armor. We'll save that one. Because I'd like to get a nature mage after this too. We now have a melee dude. He should probably have some potions too. Sell that. I've been carrying out a chair leg the whole time. I'll come in handy, you never know. But I definitely want to have a nature mage next in our party, if we can. Let's see, what do you got? You're keeping that. We'll just sell this for now. Sell that, sell that. You're a archer, so we're gonna keep you like that. I think you can actually lose your pack mule, can actually die, I believe, so we don't want that to happen. I don't need fire shot, I'm the combat mage. It does have mana. The pack mule does have mana. So now, is there any spells I can get here now? No, just fire fought and leech magic. I got those. I don't need potions. Weapons. What do you got? Dexterity is still only 11. Brittle bow, slow attack speed 2 on a weapon. 7 to 11. Nope, that's worse. We'll just keep her until she can get that bow. It's going to be really effective, so. You know, I don't know if the donkey can cast portals, but if I can control the donkey, I'm going to run around as a donkey. 9 to 15, that's what I'm using already. You have pretty good armor already. Torn leather. So I think the weird thing with armor here now, I'm not sure if any of this armor will actually work for dexterity. They all need strength? Oh well. Haha! I don't get it. Your armor is horrible. You probably need better armor. We do have some gold, so we can splurge a little bit here. 18, that's expensive. How much gold do I have? 1,000? Yeah. Can't give armor to a donkey, though. Yeah, it is very reminiscent of Neverwinter Nights. Neverwinter Nights, of course, being much more tactical and slow-moving. This is action RPG, but I should stream that too sometime. I did enjoy that game a lot. I didn't get very far in it. Shocker. Oh, I guess that makes sense. So you have 11 armor now. You don't even have a hat. You poor dude. That's expensive. Gloves. I'm going to buy this. I think that's just a worth 18, 11. Yeah, we'll buy this. There, I'll give you a little more armor. I'm not going to spend a lot on a hat, but you can have a hat. There's armor after all. 2, they're all 2. You can have a woolly cap. There you go. Any cheap gloves? No. I'm sure we'll find equipment too. It's one of those things, like, you don't want to spend too much at vendors. Because you'll run into better equipment very quickly. Defense 2. I will give you that shield at least. It's a little better. Alright, we got our melee dude. We got our caster. We got an archer. I just need I can't control the donkey. Game of the year, 10 out of 10. Yeah, Neverwinter Nights tried definitely to be much more in the sense of, you know, Baldur's Gate, right? It was coming from that side of the house. Neverwinter Nights, tapping deep into the Forgotten Realms lore. This, I'm pretty sure, was completely unique, right? It was the story and setting for this game came out of the blue. It was made for this here, right? It doesn't use any existing IP, so. What's this then? Went in. Come on, donkey.
We're not much to offer after the Krug raid.
Hmm.
Who knows what them filthy creatures thought they'd find in poor old Eaton's Roost. Go if you must, but remember, Eaton's Roost is all...
Greetings. I
I'm Zed the Sorcerer.
And as of late, Zed the Bald.
Got 9,000 goals to recruit you.
Just in time to miss the biggest thing that's ever happened in this wretched village. If you can use a sorcerer, take me with you. I'd certainly like to see some excitement.
So, oh, he's a nature magic. All right, well, we'll burn the cash.
Salvation at last.
We'll burn the cash. We're doing it. Healing hands. You're a nature mage. Where did my spellbook go? You'll get this. And we got a full party going on now. Alright, now you have all the spells. Okay, zap and healing hands. So you get to be a healer now. Aren't you just so happy? There we go. Now we got a nearly full party going on here. Yeah, you definitely want to get the little hub if you don't have it. It's just, you know, one of those dongles, right? A micro USB to USB some. Yes, it does use a slot, but look at this inventory space. We can haul so much junk now. Oh, now we're primed for adventure here. We'll go do something. We just hired everyone. Alright, where's the closest way to the killing? Let's see, what's our journal? In the town, okay, I completed that. Journey 2, so deliver Gorn's report to the overseer in Glacern. So next town now. Yes, the early 2000s fog. Not as bad as Darkstone, though. That game has just horrible fog. I got a heal. Sweet. Although the melee dude could, you know, a donkey. Certainly can jump in a little sooner. He's just standing there. Oh, I see. Attack freely. So those are the things that... Okay. So these are the commands for each person. I see. Move freely, attack freely, target closest. So yeah, he's going to be on healer dude. There we go. You have to set him individually. I think we should be good now, but I'm getting heals, so that's pretty sweet. Of course, I can play as the melee character should I desire, and just use my dude as a backup dude. But look how quickly you have a party now. If you're playing this multiplayer, you get each player then, you know, plays a role usually of some variety. Well, we hired up a full party. Ooh, look at this. Boiled leather. I'll take everything now because the mule can hold it. You can have that. You can have that. Add 1 to melee skill. Well, that's pretty worthless. Cloth 6. That's even better than what he has. Count equip item. Intelligence 13. You're smart enough for that. You don't even have staff. Alright, now we're cooking. Nice. Finished that in co-op. I remember playing that, so... So, yeah, there's no classes in this game. What you see here is, like, the progress bar on each skill. So you have melee, ranged, combat magic, and nature. And the more you use it, the more skill you get. So you can see my combat magic is 4.94. When it hits 5, I now have combat magic 5. I can equip level 5... Excuse me, equip level 5 spells. So that's how it works. You just use the skills. There's no skill tree. There's no, like, selecting anything. Yeah, exactly. Oblivion did that, right? They have the exact same. Skyrim did too, of course, with the level up system in general, that you just use the skill and it gets better. I mean, I like it as a different approach, because skill trees are... See, the party shadows is definitely causing us to slow down quite a bit here. So let's do... shadows. Let's do simple shadows. We probably gain like 10 FPS right there. So, I have my analog board as well from Mr. Add-ons, and this is a really good shop. He does a good job, but I mean, you can get it from anywhere. If you are interested in a dual output, you can also use the direct VJ option, which each core on the Mister. You can enable it with direct video output, and it's an HDMI to VGA dongle, and then use cables from there, right? But that means you lose that dual output, so... Oh yeah, that sped up the game a lot, disabling that complex party shadows. Oh my goodness, spells! I ran out of money. Leech Life, I have that one. Transmute. Explosive Powder. Ignites a magical charge and hurls at a target. 17 to 19. Revive. Wow. Soul Lance. No, and especially back then, and just especially here, like the models are so tiny and you don't get much out of it, right? You know, versus a modern game with a lot of complex shadows and stuff like that. But yeah, I was gonna say Darkstone. I played it, so I had in high school, I had my Pentium 3 500, and I still had my Pentium 2 300. So we played Darkstone together after school in my apartment with a no modem cable between the two, and that was a lot of fun. So what does the fireball already do now? Fire spray sends multiple fire shots fanning out from the caster's hands. Nice. I don't have much money left now. I kind of feel I want that bomb-throwing one. That seems like... Summon Jade Gargoyle. Sweet. Let's see. Adds minimum 1 melee damage and 1 maximum damage at the expense of health. Nope. Where did the bomb one go? There we go. Explosive powder. 17 to 19. Yeah, because the fireball does less damage. So that's 15 to 18.
The blessings of Azunai the Defender upon you. Travel safely. How may this...
Pretty out of stuff now. Spellbook or refreshment? Ooh, we can have unique spellbooks too. Yeah, Darkstone is really interesting with that, so... Yeah, the thing with the dual output is just like, it's mostly if you really, really need it. And I use it heavily, of course, but I like the analog board just for the flexibility it gives you, because the direct video out is useful if you're just going to like, I'm going to use this only for CRT or whatever, or only HDMI, then you don't need it. But I like the dual output for sure, so it is more expensive, no doubt. You can build your own too if you're electronically inclined, but... Yeah, Darkstone is just, I remember, like, I was playing a mage, and I remember the melee fighter that my friend was playing, he looked like John Cleese, because he ran, like, the legs just went flying. Like, it's hard to describe, but we always just kept laughing how fast the melee character ran. Ah! This hurls a frickin' bomb! It's just, like, literally a bomb. Whee! Well, I think we got what we needed. We got a donkey, so we're all set now for the future. So yeah, if, like Christopher pointed out, if you want to play this today, the easiest way, if you don't want to make it on retro, Clear Glitterdale Pass is definitely to just buy it on GOG. So, which I think the GOG releases, most of them do run on XP as well. So you can just drag those files over to a Windows XP machine. Journey to the Overseer, Chapter 2. What's all this then? Oh, a bomb. Ooh. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the upper limits are. I'm not too versed in the computer side of things. As far as like the steer on what you can do, especially on the Mac side. We had the Macintosh, you know, the classic, if you will, the original Macintosh represented. But I'm not sure on the Power Mac and the Power PC if it can do that, because no one's really done that yet, right? If that's even possible. The limits right now is that, yeah, you don't have the FPU, so you can't really do Pentium stuff. So right now, it's kind of limited to 46 stuff. Combat level 5. Look at that. We're just rocking them here now. You should be using that. Here, have a bomb. Oh, they did SE mode too. Yeah, cool. I have a. I was gonna stream that at one point, but I do have the bundle for that, a full image. If you check the Discord forums, the MrFPGA.org or whatever, or that forum, there's a ton of people there posting like images and stuff like that. So, and it's morning time, and it's almost midnight here. So, in freedom time, Ted, freedom time. I don't know if this bomb does damage to me too, or if it's friendly fire or not. But I do like that the bombs just kind of go slinging, so good luck whoever's in the way. I like to have a pocket healer here now. Although I'm not sure if he's getting... I'll switch him to Lightning Bolt for now. You can do move freely. and attack freely. I'm just going to let them IP freely everywhere. Yeah, I'm in Central 2, obviously, here. So that's where my stream time is, but I was talking with time zones, figuring it out, especially I'm from Sweden, so every time I talk to my parents, trying to figure out the time difference. Man, they're just, like, knocking them down now. Yeah, this changes the whole dynamic to this. So you probably need some potions too. You can carry that. Have that too. He doesn't have any health potions, so I get a few there. There we go. Whew. And here's where it really diverges from, like, your Diablo, right? Because you can have a companion Diablo that follows you around and helps you out, but here, these characters take the place of actual players. I mean, it's a full party member with everything that goes with it, as far as, like, items and everything. I still feel pretty bad for the poor lady I found in the crypt there, and she's like, "Are we gonna travel together?" And it's like, "Yep. Here's some armor, here's a bow, and you're gonna do my bidding now. You're gonna follow me around, and you're gonna shoot at stuff while I throw bombs." Because we're just knocking them down now. Heal? No. I do love that the bombs keep going. That's pretty great. I think only the person that gets the kill gets the XP, so that's going to limit how they level, though, I would think. Oh, you guys deal with it. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Right now, we have the equivalent of a 75 to 100 megahertz 486, right? Without the FPU or anything. So you have basically what is an SX equivalent. I'm not sure, but realistically, I think you're looking at a 40 to 50 megahertz, right? Is the equivalent realistic actual power. But there was a big boost a few years ago, a couple of years ago, where it was like, you know, they thought it was basically like 286 class 386, and all of a sudden they just uncorked it, and all of a sudden they got into 486 territory through some clever use of caching, I believe. So the distract stripper. Oh, I stepped away from my bomb. Feel bad at this point. These monsters don't have a chance. I don't think there's any AoE damage from... We're going to flip that switch later. We're going to take a look up here first. I could, of course, control this using my melee character. I remember liking this part of the aspect that you have some, like, party control and also some, or donkeys falling around. Like, a little bit of everything, right? It's not just a single player, I mean, a single player RPG, but you have a party still. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Come on, donkey. Whee! Cast magic missile into the darkness. Ooh, fire spray. Nice. Let's check that one out. Nice. Alright, thanks for my Zucra. It's a fun game, so I know you're up pretty late. So yeah, you're correct, Doppler. There's definitely an ARM processor in there, and they are looking at that for some aspects. I think that what happens there is you get into the thing where ARM, you're emulating at that point. It's a pure software emulation side. Now, the ARM component is very weak, so I think they're looking at it for like dual processing for the Amiga core, for example, or the Minimig core. The idea being is that you could do a virtual processor in the ARM piece of it and then run the rest of the FPGA, similar to like the PyStorm on the Amiga. So there's definitely people talking about that, but the ARM isn't very strong. That's on there, so that limits it a little bit. But there's definitely an option they looked at, but I don't think it's going to be like this golden unlock and get like way more performance. It'll be a little bit more maybe, but who knows? I mean, that's still early on, and also you do get that split there where people are like, oh, it's not really, you know, it's not really FPGA anymore, so then it's not real, and it gets iffy fast, right? So let's see if we have any more items for this dude. Leather gloves. You have gloves. You do not have gloves. The donkey does not have gloves. We can just drop that to the donkey. 14 to 17. So he needs more strength. A lot to keep track of here, my goodness. Can you use that bow yet? No, we don't have dexterity 13 yet. Only 11. I think it's based on how many kills they have, so yeah. Yeah, it's the thing. It's a hard one to balance, right? Because yeah, you have the purists then who say like, well, it's not hardware close anymore if we deviate from the FPGA piece of it. And I'm open to anything too, because like the whole point of the Mister is the flexibility. How many ways you can use it? It's awesome. Because there's almost limitless ways you can use it, and that's what I think is so cool about the platform in general. Okay, you do not have a hat. You need a hat. There we go. This is a hat party. I can't put a hat on a donkey, but here we are. Let's drop out some more potions. I don't need that many. Although with healing, it's just pretty much unstoppable. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it is. Like, yeah, you have a faster raw performance, but as far as like realistic what it actually is, you're closer to that, I think. But the fact that it can do that is pretty ridiculous to begin with. No, not the donkey. Yeah, I mean, we might see more stuff, and I'm hopeful for the future. I mean, the platform is going to keep evolving. You think about how much has been added to the Mister project in the last like 2 years. 2 years alone. It's insane. More people getting into the platform. It's gotten a lot of attention and focus. Like My Life in Gaming did that huge video, and I watched the whole thing, and it was really good. And it's just bringing more and more people into it. And if you know, can do that kind of coding, then off you go. It's, you know, for the community, so that's where every time I run the updater now for the Mister, there's a new 4 or more arcade games or whatever it might be. Something new like every day. There are my minions leveling at all here. The archer certainly is getting hits in. Melee is getting, but... Alright, everyone on here, including Donkey. My donkey. Don't be shy. Who built this elevator here anyway? Here we go. Yeah, that'd be cool too. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you, at this point, like if you literally just buy the Mister just to play 16-bit consoles, like your PC Engine, Sega CD, then the monsters are getting a lot more monsters now. I like the bombs better. Because they keep going. Alright, heal. Thank you. There's a pretty donkey. Where is the donkey? He hangs back here. It's a frontline donkey. If you give the donkey a knife. Mana potion, mana potion, mana potion. You can give that spell to that guy. Cannot use it. Alright. Yeah, that's the thing. With the SD card, the thing is that I have a... I can't remember now. 256 gig maybe? Maybe? It was on sale at one time I bought it. I crammed a lot of the cores on, or the ROMs on there. For the large one with the CD-based images, I have the donkey! Jumping into it. Alright, anyway. Touche. Yeah, I highly encourage, if you're looking at doing large scale with the PlayStation and, you know, Sega CD and those big ones that have CD-based images, it is very worth doing a NAS setup. You can access files on the Mister direct from network. And you can just drop files on a network share. And then that way they can access it directly from network. And that's how I did when I streamed PlayStation Core. None of the ROMs for that were on the Mister itself. They were on the on my NAS. So it's a little more work to set up, but boy, is it worth it for those large disk images. You don't have to get a 1 terabyte SD card, you know. Because, I mean, the Sega CD library, the PC Engine CD, you start adding, like, the AO486 images. I mean, it adds up fast. I increased dexterity. Okay. Cool. Alright. Ranged weapons 2. I feel like I picked exactly, like, the first character was, like, 10, 10, 10. She had nothing specific. The other guy felt like he was destined for melee, and then the guy clearly had nature magic already, so... Yeah, it's worth it, because it is a messy to get set up. In that sense, it's not quite turnkey yet. But it's definitely worth it from the perspective of being able to have those files on there. And plus, they might be accessible for other emulators, things like that, too. Or if you in the future get different Misters. Now, as far as Dungeon Siege, it keeps going like this, but I feel the game really opens up when you have... Where is that dude? There he is. Eel. It really opens up when... can I set more advanced AI here? Attack freely. No, I can't. It really opens up when you get this many party members and so much tacticals. You can pause at any time, too. Something you forget, right? Nice. Classic Windows Home Server. Yeah, I use a combination because I have my actual server, a full server that runs like my modern stuff and has files on it. But then I have a retro NAS, which is just an actual... it is a old Buffalo NAS that has most of my retro stuff that these computers access. Then on my production normal one, I also have the retro NAS setup, which is the newer one that uses an Intel NUC with an attached USB drive on it for presenting those images. And I'm looking to figure out a way to kind of merge the two together, if you will. The Buffalo NAS has worked wonders so far, so I'm not probably looking to get rid of that yet, but I'll figure it out. Oh, my troop and I tried to flee from those Krug when they overran Glitterdale, but with the pass to Stonebridge blocked, only once you Western Crossing. We made more than halfway, but those 8-legged horrors started pouring out of their tunnels behind the walls. No. Spiders. Why not? Save. Yeah, I don't think you need a lot of horsepower to run RetroNAS. This is a cool part of it. You'll do whatever. That's the thing. I think RetroRGB was going to make a video on it running on a laptop. I'm not sure if I got anywhere for him, but you don't need much, which is the cool part. I really, really would like to make a video on my whole network setup, because I think it is something that it feels like it's skimmed over by a lot of retro users, but if you have retro computers, a retro network is not a lot of work to set up, and is oh so useful. Like that. Eat everyone. Yeah, I really should. At least I can lift stuff now, but what I'm envisioning that video being is basically a you know, intro as far as like networking goes, and then basically showing a layout of the RetroNAS station either via the RetroNAS setup or just the Buffalo station. Kind of like going through what I do, showing network component on newer to older, if that makes sense. So basically showing, like, for example, Windows XP would be the newest, like, retro, if you will, that I consider, because anything newer than that is pretty simple to do networking on. Windows XP, which is pretty simple. Windows 98, pretty simple, still a few steps to take. 95, of course, still functional, similar wood there. Windows 3.11 and DOS, that's when you get iffy, right? And I like to make a full thing for that, so like, do a full... Sorry, I'm not sure if anyone's leaving there, but... Alright, thanks for stopping by, Solar. We'll see you next time. Have a lot of fun time with your mister, and stop humming that freaking song. It's better, though. I mean, I have small children, and the amount of, like, kid songs that get stuck in my head all the time is horrible, so... But thanks for stopping by. See you next time. But I kind of want to do it in that layered approach and show, like, the benefits of it. Make it in more like a, you know, here's some of the things you need to do to make it work on each platform. And also Mac too, with that generation. But to try and sell it as an approach. Not like, you know, shove it people down people's throat, but just make people less intimidated by it. But how functional it is to create a retro network. And how interesting and very useful it is. Because you can just copy files back and forth like crazy. And that's basically what I did for my setup here. And I'll cover that in that potential video then. Is that my modern machine has 2 network cards in it. One goes to the retro network, one goes to my normal network. And that means that the retro network is not bridged into the modern network, so I don't have to worry about anything hopping in and out. It is just for copying files back and forth, and I'll cover that too. So yeah, I really probably should make that video. It's been on my list for quite some time, but I want to do it justice too. It will take a while to make that video. But I'd like to think that could be useful to the retro community in general, because what you can do with pretty cheap parts, because A, network cards are dime a dozen for retro computers, PCI above all. I mean, you go to any recycling store, and just, you know, you find those hanging out anywhere, and then you can use an old router for that stuff. So, I mean, you can do 2 VLANs and stuff like that, and I think you're not wrong. I'm not a network guy on that level, and I think that that's where you get into the next layer, right, on networking, when you're talking about ACLs and VLANs and everything. The nice part here is that it's pretty simple to do with just a cheap router to use for your internal network for DHCP, and then bridging it that way. If you start messing with VLANs, you're right, you can. You're getting into the gray zone for me for sure. I don't do much networking in real life. But this has worked very well for me as far as, like, in the simplest term of getting files copied back and forth between them. But yeah, you could definitely do that too. They can grade it, yeah. Eating 3DFX Voodoo. Wow. It works on a Voodoo 3 3500. I'd be darned. Yeah, this is a Athlon XP 2600 with a Radeon 9700 Pro running at 1024 with 32-bit color, I will say. And it is definitely, you see the FPS in the top left corner, it's a little hard to see there. But in some areas with a lot of enemies and stuff, we definitely dropped into the 20s and 30s. So I'm a little surprised to hear that. Now, you know, we keep saying this all the time. You think like, you know, oh, well, it's not, you know, 120 FPS. What's even the point of playing? We were, back in the day when we played games like this, we weren't expecting miracles, or that's what we knew or used. If you got 27 FPS, I wasn't sitting there sweating it, right? I was having a good time, so throwing my bombs here. I feel like this is a payback for, where's my donkey? See, the donkey staying back. It's smart. I feel this is payback for Nox, where the spiders kept killing me. I brought friends this time. Hi, donkey. There we go. There you go, yeah. Double firewall, yeah, exactly. So what I do then is I have two separate environments completely, basically. And that, yeah, my retro router, which is just an old, like, D-Link whatever router, is basically has everything turned off except just DHCP on it. So it's just handing out addresses to my retro computer. So when I boot a retro computer, it gets an address, and that's it. And then I just enable SMB1, enable TCP/IP on everything, and then they can just copy files back and forth to their heart's content, right? So, plus that my NAS is on that network too. And I rely on that so heavily now. When I build a new computer, the first thing I do is get a network card up and running on it, and make sure that I can copy files back and forth. And then I just get network going, and at that point I can get, you know, drivers and audio and all that stuff going. So that is the first thing I do now, is the NIC. Throw some bombs in here. I think it means like the smaller size, right? You know, when you could press the minus and plus. To reduce the size of the view window. Heal, my dude. I can bring so much loot now. Now, it is further away, and I do not think there is a town portal scroll in this one, unless I'm mistaken. Or can't remember. But you're pretty much on your own, which is why the donkey is so helpful. You can just bring everything with you. And I think we did that for when we did the S3 Verge. I am still sorry about that. No, I think that pretty much any FPS, especially not at Era, and I quite for sure you could, because we did it on the S3 Verge stream. I shrank down the view window to almost nothing to get it to, like, you know, smooth. It was very, very small to make that smooth. Oh, donkey, come get my worn leather. Whoa. Spiders. Good thing my guy's attacking freely here now, so... Let's give that to donkey. I'll sell this stuff, so... I have some mana potions. There we go. Okay, yeah, pretty much all the ones to console ports, right? They shrank the view field quite a bit, so... Yeah, you put it down as postage stamp on it. Yeah, we did that on the S3 stream, and I really had to put it down to postage stamp. You notice now, we're getting a lot more enemies now. We need our little team here, otherwise we'd be just screwed. It's pretty fun, and Darkstone also had that drop bomb thing or whatever. Don't think you get any level up on that by using healing, so... yeah. The Voodoo 3 is just a rock-solid card, isn't it? Yeah, you could do that too. You're right, Doppler. You can go nuts, and I think that's the... What I try and do is, like, if you look at it from the simplest terms, like, yes, there's a sky's the limit on networking. You can buy old, you know, pro equipment and do this stuff too. Should I do Zoe barrel roll? You can do all that stuff. But I think as far as like for my setup, in the sense that a second router, not bridging the networks except the primary computer and a NAS of some variety on the retro network, gives you kind of the simplest setup in that sense. Because if you go into a thrift store today or like a recycling place, you can go buy any number of those old routers that would act as the internal network master, if you will. And maybe you can look at one that has a USB port on it too, so you can plug in a storage device on there and use that. There are those options, right? So at least that's simpler if you're not too familiar with networking, because you don't have to mess with too much as far as routing or anything like that, which can be very powerful, but it is still a little more complicated. So hey, go pick all this stuff up. We're going to sell this. Come here, donkey. I think the donkey runs away when he hears bad guys. Come here and get your stuff. Look at that. They programmed AI into the donkey and he just runs away. That's cool, though. I only played this role in multiplayer this far, so... does the whole site do a battle roll? But I think we're going to have to probably call it on Dungeon Siege. I realize we can keep talking here about networking stuff, but I really like to make a video on that, but... I'm going to try and push through the video I have right now going on, because I really like to finish that the topic as one. So, I can spin the chair anyway. Yeah, I'll never be a streamer that requires money to do stuff, but I'm going to exit out of Dungeon Siege here now because we are getting late here too. Even Nick Lone Wolf, we just literally exited out of... Sorry, I literally hit exit there. I was going to keep chatting a little about networking and stuff like that, but I literally exited out of the game there. But I certainly can... There you go, I did a barrel roll. So, but yeah, networking, it's a deep topic, and I'd love to cover that in a video. And I really do want to do that. It is definitely in my roadmap for a long time. Because I think that there's a thing of like, it's too complicated networking, don't worry about it. But it really is, on the surface level, it really isn't. And it really helps a lot. I don't copy stuff with CDs or floppies anymore. I just do networking. So, because I mean, I can just drag a file over, go get lunch. If it takes a long time, it doesn't really matter, versus like running back and forth. So, now eating Nico, no problem. But yeah. This is a super fun game, and I still encourage you to check it out. I think it is on GOG, like people mentioned earlier, for $5. So, more videos are on the way. I'm working on one right now. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. There you are, Perry. We've been watching a lot of Phineas and Ferb. My daughter loves it for some reason, so... Where's Perry? Oh, there you are. The platypus disappears. But... more videos to come. I'd really like to get on a more release schedule, but I would like to also kind of find a good balance between quality and depth of the video, and sometimes the ones that are quicker. So I have another one after this in mind that's going to be a quicker one. So I kind of rotate back and forth. Paw Patrol is on a roll! And my fun part is trying to decipher which voice actor has changed for Strider each time, because that varies a lot. So, yeah, I gotta stop having body parts scooped out of me, huh? That'll make me have more time for videos. Anyway, yep, a lot of fun conversations tonight. I really appreciate everyone hanging out. It was a very fun stream for sure. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Ron, for the donation as well. And VCF Midwest is coming up in September. That should be a lot of fun, too. I'm excited for that. I will stream something else next week. I have some ideas that I might go for. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It's random, right? You never know what you're going to get, so... Anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Really appreciate it. Dungeon Siege is a fun game. We will stream the sequel probably at some point, too. Otherwise, I will see everyone next week. Have a good week, and see you later.